Hello, Internet! It's your host, Sneaky Devil and Atin. And this
I'm
is
here. I
Fanfiction
wish I wasn't,
Contempt
but I'm
Theater
here.
9002, episode 95. Max isn't joining us. Nose Hair is traveling across the country.
You see, he posted a picture earlier of himself on a plane so that you can track him.
Mm-hmm. The autists at 4chan are on the job already. So, since it's just the two of us tonight, let's find something that we can both cringe at. Oh, here we go! This one! Right, so, this is Star Wars Harry Potter crossover. That's what we're gonna start off with tonight.
Why?
Yay! Yay! To celebrate the new Star Wars movie being released.
Yeah, but it's shit and everybody knows it.
So we're not actually gonna read this story. I know, I duped you guys. We're just gonna read the first chapter, which isn't the story. Star Wars Episode 7, The Deathly Hallows, a Harry Potter and Star Wars crossover. Luke Skywalker and his friends embark on a dangerous quest to find and destroy the artifacts that allow Lord Sidious to maintain his immortality. As they prepare,
I'm already annoyed.
As they prepare for the final battle, Luke might have to make the ultimate sacrifice. It's written.
This isn't a story. This isn't a crossover. This is let's combine.
Yes.
Shit
Yes.
story.
Yes.
With a not so shit story.
Yes. 74 chapters, 110 words, 1 review, 25 favorites. Can you imagine legitimately writing an entire book and then getting only 25 people in 2 of the most popular sections to favorite your story?
I can.
So anyway,
It would happen by writing something this trash.
here is the screenplay list for all of the characters. So, Luke Skywalker will be played by Harry Potter, age 17, as a fugitive member of the Jedi Order. Ron Weasley will be playing a de-aged Han Solo, fugitive member of the Jedi Order. Hermione Granger.
He wasn't, ever.
Hermione Granger will be playing as Leia Organa, fugitive member of Jedi Order.
That one's at least plausible.
With a cameo from Ginny Weasley playing Mara Jade Solo, who is from the future and de-aged to 16.
What?
What?
Not how that works.
Yes, it's exactly how that works. Neville Longbottom will be playing Wedge Antilles, de-aged, 7th year and co-leader of Yoda's Rebellion.
Really? Really? Neville's gonna be Wedge?
Yep. Luna Lovegood will be Quizux, the de-age, and a 6th year co-leader of Yoda's Rebellion. Fred the Raper Weasley, aka Rodent, will be playing Fananananan Wraith 7 Solo, who is also from the future and aged up. Entrepreneur, member of the Jedi Order and Rogue Squadron. George Weasley will be playing as Face Solo, from the future and aged up. entrepreneur and member of the Jedi Order. Percy Weasley will be playing as Jason Solo, from the future and aged up, Imperial bureaucrat. Charlie Weasley will be playing Katarn Solo,
What?
Rancor handler and member of the Jedi Order.
Katarn Solo?
Yes. Bill Weasley will be playing as...
Do they just think everyone's a fucking Solo?
Yes. Bill Weasley will be playing as Rhysode Solo, age 27, a banker and a member of the Jedi Order.
Also, Kyle Katarn Solo. Oh. Oh, good. We've got a Lima Rar in there. Fucking.
Yep. Fleur de Clore will be playing as a Lima Rar, member of Jedi Order. Molly Prewitt Weasley will be playing as Jaina Solo, member of Jedi Order.
No.
Arthur Weasley will be playing as Jonash Solo, head of Confiscation Authority and member of Jedi Order. Albus Dumbledore will be dead for this play. He'll be playing as the dead Yoda, former Grand Master and leader of Jedi Order.
Can I just point out, first of all, half these Solos don't exist.
Yes.
Second of all the things that's dumb, you pick Molly Weasley to be the stand-in for Jaina.
Yes.
You pick an absolutely useless... No, Isley, most of those... I don't know what I'm saying, Isley. Or most of those are not actually Solos at all, in any capacity. But you pick one of the most useless small children to play the person.
Yeah, Mara
there's
Jade.
Isley.
Yeah.
To pick the person. No, not Mara Jade. Jaina Solo. The person whose title was literally Sword of the Jedi.
Oh,
the
right.
one person who literally every single person in the galaxy was like, that person is the one I
when you were referring to the small useless child, I thought you were referring to Guinea.
No. I mean, I am. But like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Jaina Solo, the person who Boba Fett himself was like, you're not so bad for a Jedi.
Yes. Yes.
Honestly, what you can do is find me some good Jaina Solo fan art. That's what you can do for me.
Gellert Grunenwald will be playing as Hago Pelagius, member of the Dark Lord of the Siths. I would like to point out that, according to this author, that Yoda and Pelagius had a sexual relationship with each other.
I'm sorry, who did?
According to the author, Yoda and Pelagius. You know, Darth Plagueis, whatever the fuck his name is.
Well, yeah, because see, they have to fit the gay stuff in.
Of course, yes. Draco Malfoy will be playing as Galen Merrick, 7th year Sith Lord. Lucius Malfoy will, of course, be Count Dooku Merrick, Sith Lord. Narcissica Malfoy will be Nen Yim Merrick, Matriarch of House Merrick and ally of the Sith. Nymphadora Tonks will be playing as Nurian Tal, Stormtrooper and member of the Jedi Order. Wait. Wait. Hold up.
Oh, why do you have to do...
Yeah?
Fucking leave Cam Solisar alone.
Oh.
Oh, Christ, who are they going to make Tahiri? Also, if... You know what? I'll actually agree with this. Minerva McGonagall actually makes a pretty good Mon Mothma stand-in.
I suppose, yeah. Master
Oh,
of Metamorphosis?
God, who are they making Tahiri?
They've
They've run out of small, useless children.
Lords.
That's right, I'm throwing shade at
Yes.
Tahiri. She's a dumbass.
The
She helped commit
Cyrus
genocide.
Black will be playing as Obi-Wan Ben Kenobi.
Dead.
Deceased. Remus will be playing as Qui-Gon Maverick Jinn.
No, okay, why
Member
is he
of
alive?
Rogue Squadron.
Why is he alive?
What?
Why do we have Sneaky? Why do we have two Vong playing Sith Lords?
Where?
Savong Law and Lumi. Well, Savong is Yuzon Vong. That's a
Right,
Vong name.
yeah.
Lumaya, that fine. She was actually a Sith. Although if if anyone should have been oh my god, Narcissa, it should have been Lumaya.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Hagrid will be playing as Chewbacca, master of animal friendship and member of the Jedi Order.
I got news for you. Chewbacca was not a friend to animals. Do you understand that Wookiees murder them on a routine basis on Kashyyyk for everything?
Meat is a very big part of the diet.
Not just meat, but for everything. Everything. They were Native American-esque in their animal usage.
Yeah.
Fenrir Greyback
will be playing as Boba Fett,
age 59,
head of
the Mandalorians. Okay, well, you better fucking you can't have Boba Fett be running the Mandalorian. Do you know why? Because you don't have Jake and Solo being evil. Why is...
what the fuck is this? Ariana, the sister of Dumbledore, will be playing as Ahsoka Tano, sister of Yoda.
Not how that works.
That is not in the fucking slide.
Why is Dexter Jester in here? Why is he here?
Because Qui-Gon never died.
He was never gone.
Hedwig is gonna be R2-D2.
Oh, good. Callista Ming gets an honorable mention as Cho fucking Chang. Katie Bell. Who the hell is Katie Bell? I don't even remember.
One of the keepers from Gryffindor Quidditch team.
Oh. Was she easily led and willing to commit genocide just so she could remember the last guy who dicked her?
No, in fact, she was abstinent.
Great, then she can't be Tahiri. Because remember, guys, Tahiri fell to the dark side just because Jaken could make her remember Anakin.
Also, ally of Jedi in Yoda's rebellion.
I'm not sure what you mean by ally, since... whatever.
Arnold will be playing as Arnie, the...
I'm sorry.
T-9000 astromech.
Sal Solo Kenobi. You do realize Thraken Sal Solo was a horrible human being who attempted multiple times to take over the galaxy, right?
Okay,
ally of the Jedi!
I don't seem to understand the Star Wars to get this.
This person is bringing in a shit zillion EU characters. And, more importantly, they're committing the biggest problem of all, which is they're mixing the old EU with the new EU, which is bad because they're two completely separated universes.
Nagani will be playing as Darth Maul.
Oh my god, they went so far as to really the Dursley. Don't make the Dursleys the Larses.
The Larses
were
are good
fantastic.
people.
Okay, Owen and Beru were fantastic to Luke.
That is true, though.
The worst they did
Was die in fire.
Yeah,
well
basically.
that and try to get him to live a normal life. That was the worst thing they did.
I mean, is it really that bad a thing to?
Who the fuck is? Oh, Lee Jordan is that commenter on the Quidditch games. But apparently he's
Why
gonna be.
is he?
He's Rogue
West?
6, leader of the Rogue Squadron. Because fucking whatever at this
Okay,
point.
first of all, unless we start seeing members of Wraith Squadron, Wes Jansen didn't run Rogue Squadron. That was Wedge. Until Wedge finally got promoted up to a desk.
To non-wedge.
We already get
Well,
the
no,
Wedge.
then he got okay, for some reason Darth
Dead.
Revan's in there. Whatever.
Dead.
I still
Dead.
think my favorite
Isn't
part
Darth
is
Revan the MMO dude?
you get the fuck out.
Ah, yes! I distinctly remember the time that Darth Revan, Exar Kun, Bastila Shan, and Mitra Surik all got together and made the Jedi Order. I totally forgot
Okay,
that.
Look, I could believe 3 of the names on that list.
Wait, but no, seriously, isn't Darth Revan the MMO guy?
This entire
No,
chapter is a
No,
cast list.
Darth Revan is a man who was ruined by an MMO and has a fantastic single-player game.
Yes.
The same goes for Mitra Surik, whose real name is the Jedi Exile and not something stupid like Mitra Surik.
Fucking, what is this? The giant squid of Hogwarts Lake will be playing as a Colo Clawfish.
You know what? If they put that one in for comedy, I'll give them a point for that.
I respect a fucking Sarlacc pit, man.
Anyway. So Grey Jedi
Grievous. Wait, can you go up a bit?
What?
I just saw Grievous in there.
General
where?
Grievous, where? Oh yeah, Mulciber. Who the fuck is Mulciber?
Mulciber.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I feel like we're getting into hard OC territory.
No, that's an actual Harry Potter character. I just don't remember if he had any important parts. Like, I think he was just mentioned in an offhand of like, oh yes, over there is Mulciber, and then never mentioned again.
Oh. Oh wow, we're bringing in the Keeper of the Wills. Yeesh. All Grey Jedi are... Kyle Katarn's a Grey Jedi too. They're just Jedi that go, look, the Force is not inherent... They're people that go, guns don't kill people. People kill people. I.e., the Force is not good, the Force is not bad. It entirely depends on who's doing what. Why... Force lightning isn't bad. What's
Wait,
bad? Force lightning to torture people. That's bad.
Wait, what the fuck?
Oh.
James Potter will be playing as Anakin Skywalker, dead, member of the Jedi Order.
He's dead. I love how that's added as an afterthought. Oh yeah, he's dead, by the way.
Firenze. Who is Firenze, and why are they playing one of the greatest characters to come out of the EU?
He was some centaur that was like, yo, we shouldn't murder humans, and that's basically his only line in the entire story.
There is Barney Weasley.
Really, really bad news for you. Thrawn was a big fan of murder.
Yeah.
Because he was really good at it.
Yeah. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Jeez. Literally every single named character has been given a part. Just the sheer level of time this person took. Like, they claim it's a parody, but it's like...
I don't know enough Star Wars, but I know enough Harry Potter, and I don't know half these people.
So, we're getting into the future territory.
Tobias Snape.
Tobias Snape will be playing as the father of Darth Vader. Oh, yes, I remember how Tobias Snape was James Potter's dad. Yes.
What a waiter. Jesus Christ.
Wait, are we... Oh. Vader is not his last name. It's literally a
It's
title.
It's like how Kier isn't Obama's last name, you know.
Watto Vader. That...
Did he just make this one up or is this an actual thing?
Oh my god.
Was there an actual character named Watto Waiter? That's what I need to know.
Wait.
I'm gonna Google this.
Wait. The Shimi of Tatooine deceased. But also, Madame Malkin will be playing as the undeceased Shimi Skywalker of not Tatooine.
What?
What?
I know how Dudley is 56 years old.
No, it gets worse!
How long is this?
Oh god, it keeps going! Ah!
This is the entirety of the chapter, isn't it?
All goblins will be Moon. Dementors will be Tusken Raiders.
What?
Giants will be Yuzon Vong. Half giants will be Wookiees.
So, Hagrid is Chewbacca, isn't he?
Oh my god. The Order of the Phoenix will be playing the part of the Jedi Order. The Death Eaters will be Sith. The Ministry of Magic is the Galactic Republic. Meanwhile, the Wizengamot, which is a branch of the Ministry of Magic, is the Galactic Senate.
I see.
Oh my god. Oh no, it just keeps going. Oh, it just keeps going. Oh god, he even has a spell list for all the spells to be transformed into fucking force moves.
I just want to know who's Obi-Wan.
Oh my god.
This is literally the entirety of the chapter.
Yep, this is the chapter. This is pretty much what what I was covering this for. Is I literally did not actually want to read this. I just wanted to go through this fucking list and just be like, why? So, let's see who we got here. You know what? Let's do a Naruto story.
Hell yeah.
Crossing over with Overlord.
Hey, that's one I wrote.
You wrote Overlord, The Return of Dark Prophecy?
No, I wrote a Naruto Overlord thing that had one chapter, and then I took it over.
I see.
I was basically wanted to use the Final Fantasy fucking system to make like an in-game MMO thing.
As always, we will be linking it into the Discord if you wish to follow along. Alright, we're waiting tension.
Yeah.
Crow Feast, yes.
That is quite close to my name, considering I do use a crow for my profile pic.
Yep.
Oh no, I see. Like my story was supposed to be like a complete shit post. It was basically fucking Naruto's a warrior of Final Fantasy 14. That's literally the entire fucking premise of it.
So anyway, this is Overlord. The Return of the Dark Prophecy.
Jesus, not more Overlord. Could people stop butchering Overlord?
No, they can't. It's physically impossible for them to not butcher it.
Like, it's a fun shitpost to read.
This is a good story according to Tension. Well, okay, Tension. Lord Ines was confronted with something of his past he had hoped to forget. But with new challenges that could be in front of him, he will show his old world the true meaning of despair, and with his followers behind him, he will ensure this new world is conquered under his name. Ah, yes, that's exactly in Ines' character.
I mean, technically, that's exactly what he wants to do, though. Like, take over the world.
Except it's not. That's what all of his minions thought he wanted to do.
Yeah, he just.
And then he
doesn't have
just
any
started
skills.
doing it because he's exactly the wrong kind of person.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, that was the lore for his fucking actual thing. So, like, when the characters did come to it, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take over the world." So basically, that did become his goal in the end.
I mean, yes. I mean, he sort of just went rolling with it because he's like, "Fuck it, yeah, let's go."
Oh fuck! I now remember. Crowfeast is literally FTDS. The FT. Yeah, he's literally Fatal Dragon Slayer, but like under a different name.
Only 18 stories. So you know,
No,
not.
You will notice this like patterns if you notice. Just I read like a Hunter x Hunter.
I mean,
story
you know
for
what? I'll give him more credit than Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer, and that he actually has different names for all of his stories, and it isn't just Naruto and the.
Naruto and the 50th story I wrote because I don't have a job.
Excuse you, that phrase is copyrighted by Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Naruto and the crippling depression. Naruto and the premature.
Naruto buys a
syndrome.
gun.
Naruto discovers the power of Gat.
Naruto and the 35% suicide statistic.
Hey,
Naruto
what do you
and
think?
the impeachment.
What do you think the suicide rate for ninjas is?
Quite high, probably.
Very, very high, yeah.
It depends on
like,
like
do you-
what time it is. Like in wartime, I'd expect it to be very high.
No, actually, I expect the opposite. Because with wartime, they get to do the whole, oh, I'll die for my country thing, but when it's, like, peaceful and they're not being actively sent out to die for their country,
Yeah, so basically it's like the time right after a war. Like
and they'll
right
just be
after a
sitting
war.
there like, what the fuck do I do with my life now? I've killed thousands of people, and then they shoot themselves.
It's like a fucking Shinedown song, basically.
Can you imagine being, like, a police officer investigating a ninja suicide? It's like, ah, yes. He got himself twice in the back of the head with a Dragon Ball fireball thing.
No, Sneaky. It's like, well, there's a kunai in the back of his skull. First question: did the deceased know Shadow Clone?
This is not any kind of clone.
It appears he shot himself twice into the spine with 2 shurikens from the back.
But wait a minute! The 4th Hokage didn't know how to do Shadow Clones!
Did he not?
No, that was just a shitpost joke.
I know,
Real
but
talk, though, like,
did he
most
not?
Ninjas literally can't use that fucking thing because chakra is a piece of shit.
I mean, I don't know. Did we ever see Minato do it?
No.
No.
I think we didn't. Like most ninjas literally can't use the shit because literally cutting your basically your mana.
Cutting your mana in half.
Yeah, cut my mana into pieces. This is my shadow clone.
Oh, good God.
No, but that is pretty much the entire basis of it. Like, it's like, hey, I'm halving my power every single fucking time. Why am I doing this for a fucking clone that dies in one hit? I fucking don't know.
If
For
your
dealing
shadow
with
clone
jobbers,
kills
of
you, is it a
course.
murder or a suicide? That's a good question.
Well, here's the real question. Does that Shadow Clone then just go about the rest of its days being incredibly terrified of everything and trying to be the real Slim
Yo,
Shady?
That's like that's like a fucking premise for a fanfiction.
Or, here's the question. If a Shadow Clone outlives the creator, since they have half the power, do they become
Yo,
the real Slim
listen,
Shady
listen.
then?
No,
Listen,
because
that was kind of the premise for that fucking D times D fic that's still up on my like page. That was kind of the premise. The fucking Naruto you're following this entire part has just been a
Because I
very,
know
very
there's the
recently shadow
fission
clone.
jutsu,
well, see
which
the
makes
thing
a
is,
proper clone of you.
yeah, the
Yeah.
thing is that shadow clones are shells of chakra,
Mm-hmm.
and so even if the original dies, they would still just be a shell of chakra that is running on a limited fuel source.
Yep. They
Gotcha.
can't make their own chakra basically. But technically, there is like a way around that with senjutsu.
I mean,
injecting
there's a
draining
bunch of
chakra.
abilities out there that lets you absorb chakra. So I mean, it is technically possible to perpetuate yourself. It's just shadow clones dispel upon being hit.
Yeah, plus basically there was the entire like fucking thing. It was a filler or something where the shadow clones have like independent will, but like the will degrades as like time goes on or some shit like that.
No, it's just canon that shadow clones have independent will, the exact same
Yeah.
will as the person that made them. However, though, it's not like it's gonna be like Naruto makes 100 shadow clones and they're all gonna be different personalities. Like, no, they're all the exact same personality as Naruto. They all know they're also clones, and
Yeah, which
so
is
it's
why they don't
like,
do like chores easy.
yeah, it's not gonna be like Twice from My Hero Academia, who was like, "Oh my god, am I the real fucking person or am I not? I'm gonna go insane here."
Okay,
Yeah, or
zero
like
from
oh my
Batman
god.
Zero.
Cruel, you might know this one. Who was the comic book character could make copies of himself
Doctor
and
Manhattan.
so there was a comic book character. It's a super tragic story. He was a villain. He could make copies of himself. He was kind of a jobber. But he eventually turned onto the straight and narrow. But then he
Just
got
copy
married,
me.
had a kid. But the first time he touched his kid, because she had his power, he reabsorbed his own kid.
Oh. Nope, do not know of this one. All I know is that like Doctor Manhattan could make clones of himself. That's all I know, dude.
Well, I mean, you're right, he could, but Dr. Manhattan also didn't have a linear experience of time.
Oh, definitely. He didn't like.
Don't you guys mean Dr. Black Hatton?
I mean,
He
there
is a
was actually
person of color.
there was a really reasonable explanation for that.
I mean, for his time thing, yeah, fucking like that's the entire reason why he like.
No,
moved
like
his
why
origin.
they made him a black guy in this one.
All right, yeah. Wait, there was a TV series, right?
Yeah, but like the actual reasoning was he fell in love with someone again, not unreasonable. This one happened to be black, so it's like, hey, I'm trying not to repeat the mistakes of my past. What should I look like? Well, it would help if you looked like me, not a fucking blue guy.
Well, yeah, that was kind of his thing, right? Like Doctor
Also,
Manhattan was like his entire ideal was the hero to end all heroes, basically. And his entire problem was disillusionment, right? He just like kind of got bored, I guess.
well, it's not just that he got bored, it's that people hated him and he knew they hated him and he's
Oh,
like,
definitely.
"What do you want from me? I cannot win. So
Hmm.
fuck you all. I'm going to fuck off to Mars."
Yeah, that was his like the
But
best part was just like
anyway, so
my
a
girlfriend don't
fanfic
like me
that
anymore.
screams you cruel is I recently read a Bleach story called
Yeah.
Ichigo Awakens. It's where Ichigo, as a young boy, realizes he has a massive dick,
Dick.
and it awakens, and because of that, all the girls become part of his harem.
That is not a very me fact.
But it was 100 chapters ish long, around 300k words. And I was reading the first part of the story. I was like, I think I've seen this story before. And so I go to the chapter list to see, what's up with the latest chapter, and it says hiatus. I'm like, that's weird.
Oh no, that does sound like me actually.
And no, this is the part that I was gonna say. It sounds like you. And so the hiatus chapter is just an author's note saying, yeah. So a lot of people really didn't like me crossing D times D into Ichigo Bleach Awakens, and giving him a harem of 9 people, including Rias from D times D.
That doesn't really sound like me though. Like honestly, like the okay, I have never actually gotten to a part in a story where I've had to write a harem. That's actually not even a
Like,
fucking joke.
I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, I was going for more the what the fuck thing because it's not a crossover. It's listed as a pure Bleach story that just at some point around the 300 word mark apparently just crossed suddenly with D times D and was like, "Hey, Ichigo, you have a fucking harem now." 393k words. Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's just...
That does, yeah, that does. Like, see, I can see the 393k words thing, and then decide to completely change the fucking story thing. That is definitely me. It's like,
That's
yo,
also
yo,
what happened. Yeah, yeah.
I'm like 400. I'm like 400k words into a story. I'm gonna completely change this fucking shit. And then nobody likes how I fucking changed my shit.
You cucking Naruto. Fuck off.
Fuck, man. Like, that was the best fucking shit. How dare he have teammates that aren't fucking him? You're cucking Naruto.
How dare you make Naruto not have a harem?
I'm gonna say,
Mr.
listen,
Bates.
if that's the standard for cucking Naruto, Naruto cucked the fuck out of himself a million times.
Well, no, because again, I was explaining this before, but we had Naruto had 3 girl teammates,
Yeah, I know.
and we had those 3 girl teammates constantly pull the girl away from Naruto, and then kick Naruto out. And Naruto, being a nice guy, never actually was like, "Hey, no, fuck you, I'm not leaving." He was just like, "Oh, okay."
No, like the best bit of that story was the fact was these girls at some point of time actually like Naruto.
You know, one's dead, one's insane, and the other one's gone.
Well, then that happened.
Yeah.
But before that, the thing was he being Naruto is so fucking clueless because well he's Naruto. He's
Well, to be fair, later on in Shippuden, he did manage to get a clue that Sakura was using him as second fiddle, and he
Yeah.
had none of that,
I mean, yes,
and
he
not
did
which I
just
get...
did
that.
appreciate from the author.
Yeah.
You need to realize this too. Like in this world, Naruto was taken as a kid and raised by basically 2 girls, and a
Then how
man
on
was
earth
never
is he
there.
clueless?
No,
He
it,
Okay.
should be clued in.
No. You know, don't understand. One of these girls is Ruby and the other's Yang.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Like if he was to be raised by, let's say, like normal women, he would not be clueless. He'd be the very opposite of it. But he was raised by a knucklehead and a kid who liked weapons more than people. And they're both young
Also,
at that time.
Yang flirts with pretty much everything, so he would probably become just
Desensitized.
desensitized to flirting. Yeah.
I think we had this exact conversation when we were deciding this fucking personality.
Yeah,
earlier.
we pretty much did.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's actually impressive that we managed to have the same conversation while I'm drinking the same fucking drink again. Which, by the way, I've just been like fucking pounding these down. I'm on my 4th old fashioned.
Did Atin, so the entire fucking like anytime we do like let's say like a story planning session, he is always drunk. But the thing is, drunk Sneaky has the fucking stupidest yet like it's so stupid it'll work kind of ideas.
Oh, I know.
I Oh yeah, by the way, Sneaky, you know the fucking shit post you asked me to write? I wrote like 2,000 words
Yeah.
for it, but like I need some input, man. I'm just like
Yeah, I'll get around to that. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so Tome of
Welcome,
Nizaric.
welcome. By the way, you're now experiencing Max's pain.
No. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually enjoyed this because like it actually like.
Oh no, I mean trying to get him to write.
Oh no, dude! You actually think I make him write much? I just make
No.
him write the fucking comedy bits.
He pretty much does. In the great Tome of Nazarick, things are quiet for the most
Also,
part.
I thought you said the Great Tome of Nazarick, which would be a much
Yeah.
different story.
Actually, yeah, I think he did say the Great Tome of Nazareth, didn't he?
Yeah, it's called the Great Tome of Nazarick.
Yeah, I thought you said tome, like Tome.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Don't make fun of my accent. I'll talk Southern for the entire fucking time.
Holy shit! Highlight my message.
Yeah, highlight your message. He was sitting in his chair going through some paperwork that Sevas had just handed him not too long ago. For you see, Ainz was an undead skeleton lord. He is a wizard-class warrior that was known to use some of the most powerful spells in the entire world with ease.
That's not true. He used some of the most underpowered spells because he went for because he went for a
PvP.
or no, not a PvP. He went for a
Thematic?
RP build.
Oh, yeah.
No, like who? What? Who's?
Like he got some great stuff because of that, but a lot of his stuff was great for like styling on low level fools.
But you tell Ainz, right?
Yeah, Ainz, yeah.
You know, like he literally, like, in the beginning for a few chapters, no, not chapters, like, in the beginning for a few episodes, he actually talks about the fact that he made a guide with which like RP based characters can actually PvP in the high end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like he's actually like he knows his PvP. It's just that he dumb. He plays a sorcerer basically, which according to like what his world is not really a meta character.
No. He
Yeah,
was
I know.
even capable of becoming a warrior-class fighter when he used one of his spells known as Create Greater Object. This allowed him to bypass his wizard state and take a more weapon-based look. It also stops him from casting spells.
What would you say? It also drops him 20. It also drops his power level by 20.
Yeah.
Not just that, he doesn't have like any access
His
to
outfit
resources.
as a skeleton wizard was less bulky than it used to be compared to. He decided to shrink his robes and make it look to be as if it was just covering his basic body and didn't look like a WoW character anymore. From there, he had 2 glowing orbs in his shoulders, and his eyes were dark red and glowed with immense power. And next to him was the golden staff of Ain's own gown, which was considered to be the strongest object in the world.
Well, that is true, Sati.
Ainz was busy these days doing stuff that didn't really interest him anymore. He had defeated everybody, recruited all of the strongest people, and was the biggest dick ever. Sadly, after doing all of these things, he grew tired of doing those things and decided to do something else. From his perspective, things were annoyingly simple, and he wanted to do more things that weren't simple anymore. The doors to his office had a knock. The doors to his office had a knock.
I think this person is forgetting the part where Ainz went, "Oh damn, there are plenty of people out here who they're not necessarily a threat to me, but if I keep being stupid, I'll get styled on."
Come in! The doors opened, and entering the room was a black hair man! Okay, so this is the problem with the Tome of Nazarick, is that you say black hair man, and it's entirely possible one of them made an NPC made entirely out of black hair.
That is very true.
Wearing a red and white suit with pointy ears. It's Demiurge. I don't know why you're trying to be vague about this. It's fucking Demiurge. Anyone who's watched Overlord knows what the fuck he looks like.
It's been years and people in fanfiction still haven't learned the fact that you don't need to explain to people characters that they already have known. Unless there's some kind of like...
This mysterious, blonde-haired, blue-eyed individual with whisker marks on each cheek.
And an addiction to ramen.
I wonder who it could be.
Pretty sure that's Boruto's dad.
Who the fuck is Young Lung? It's Rioter, Kilm,
Listen,
Pro-Man.
he pissed off yet another political group, so he's hiding again.
No, this time I pissed off like the casual raid scene of Final Fantasy XIV.
So you're just gonna go back, right?
No, the best thing is I somehow managed to get like all the hardcore groups to pretty much blacklist all the people who got pissed off at me, so I'm very happy.
What did you say? Stop standing in fire, you fucking morons?
No, I called somebody
You said the words.
I said the gamer words.
I mean, the gamer words.
Literally 1 month into progression, and they're still doing the first mechanic of the fight wrong. First mechanic of the fight. You know what you have to do the mechanic? You have to move right.
Look, man, that's difficult.
Is it like when is it like how it's like, hey, what do I do to not fuck up the Titan fight? Don't stand in the giant glowing lines.
Pretty much.
Yeah, people are retarded.
The funniest thing was the fight was actually the new Titan. So yeah, that was literally the fucking mechanic.
Anyway, Demiurge, what can I do for you? The man smiled while adjusting his gloves on his hands. Well, I was wanting to warn you about the tomb started to shake from explosions coming from the main floor. They are at it again, aren't they? The man smiled and nodded his head. Yes, from what I gathered, they are fighting over who will be the main wife in your life, sire. But I'm curious about something if you wouldn't mind. Ask, Demiurge. Ein said had an idea about what this was about but wanted to be sure. Well, I was wondering why haven't you tried for a child yet? He says to the undead skeletal death king.
Who has his emotions suppressed every time? Which includes any time he gets big dick energy?
This would help all of us by giving the girl something to keep them all occupied, and would prevent us
Whoa! Really? Really?
Yeah! The author just
Really?
fucking went there. He just said
Really?
the gamer
We're
words.
going there with people like Albedo.
Yes.
And... I'm glad we found someone who's more offensive than you will be tonight, Sneaky.
I see.
Look, I could easily
Somebody's
top
gonna
that,
get
and if I
the
finish
phone
off this entire bottle of whiskey, I'm probably gonna.
Yeah. I'm gonna be drunk tomorrow, man. I can't even drink today.
Oh, I'm drinking hard tonight.
The good thing is, I can actually join the stream now on like weekends, pretty much when you do your shit, because like my raid timings just end when the stream starts.
Neat. If I could, Demiurge, I would have child, but the problem is I am undead, and that means I do not have penis.
Why can I imagine this?
Why is this dialogue? I turned to the skeleton and said, "Why do you not have children?" The skeleton looked at me and said,
Hey, yo,
"I am
I
a
hate you
skeleton.
both.
I do not have penis."
Fam, there's 1,000 ways to phrase that same line better. 1,000 fucking ways. Imagine like just this fucking gigantic skeletal lord coming up to you and saying, "Bro, I got no pee-pee."
I have no PP energy, bro.
Big dick energy? Try big bone energy, boy.
If this turns into Demiurge cucking Eins, I will actually shit fire.
Up the wall.
So that
Hey,
means...
Yo, what if... No, listen. What if Demiurge's plan...
Wait for it, guys. We're getting there. So that means Eins nodded his head. Yes, I cannot have children.
Me no pee-pee no work.
What kind of fucking conversation is this? You don't have a penis? No, I do not have a penis. That means you can't have kids. Yes, that does mean I can't have kids.
That's kind of implied, my friend.
See, now I'm waiting for Demiurge to be like, I knew about this. I've been working on
Wait,
magic
wait,
spells. A boon.
It gets worse! I see, my lord. Thank you for sharing this with me. It shows you trust me and I appreciate it. Why don't you fuck them? I am undead and I lack a penis. I see. Thank you for trusting me with such information, my lord.
This is cursed knowledge.
I could never have guessed, sire.
If you have not noticed, I am but a skeleton.
I just love how so this dialogue seems like something out of fucking Oblivion. I love it.
No, come on. Not even Oblivion was that
No,
bad.
an Oblivion mod. Okay, a fan-made Oblivion mod.
Oh yes,
Okay.
yes, a fan-made Oblivion mod. That is right there. That is right in that territory of dialogue.
I see, my lord. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Of course, I should have realized. You're an Argonian. They're not allowed to have children.
Oh, dude.
What? It's not like anyone wants more lizard freaks around.
Who is it this time? Ah, from what I saw, it was Albedo, Shaltir, and Zeshi. They are all fighting with the maids, staying out of the way. I see. Ainz remembered the day Zeshi came to the tome. He defeated her years ago. Upon doing so, the lolly became obsessed with becoming his wife and having his child, but all the other girls wanted to have his child first. So they constantly fight to see who gets first. Again,
Only the answer is not.
is everyone unaware that he's a skeleton?
By the way, I think probably my favorite thing ever was when Albedo tried to ride an evil unicorn, and it's like, yo, why can't she ride it? Oh, it's because she's a virgin.
Yes.
I see. Lore, my friend. Lore.
Dear Sneaky, tell them in the chat that your best friend told you that their stream is cute. My gay best friend thinks you're adorable.
I got news for you. You've got terrible taste, sir.
This is not the first time I have been told this by a gay man.
Yeah, and they all had terrible taste.
Well, I mean, they are gay.
Not even touching that one.
That's a fucking mine if I've ever seen one.
Look at that! It's a bomb!
It's a claymore and it's pointing towards me.
According to canon, they are unaware that Ainz does not have a penis.
Wow.
Wait, I'm sorry. According to canon, you know what? I'm not even touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. You know what?
Birdie,
No.
Why, Birdie? I know we joke about that. You should always bring more people to watch the show. Why would you do that to your friend?
No,
Exactly.
definitely do that to your friend. Do it to everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in.
And tell your friend to get a Twitch account and get in here. We need to boost our viewer numbers.
Hold on, I'm gonna put this in my raid server.
Don't worry, the straight crowd thinks you're cute too.
You all have god-awful taste!
It's the sideburns, I'm telling you.
Listen, if sideburns were all it took to be attractive, my brother would have had girls all over him by now.
But didn't he?
He didn't. He had one.
He had two.
Sideburns- See, sideburns are okay. The real shit is the mutton chop.
I am going for the mutton chop.
Why?
Because.
Who hurt you?
Mutton chops.
Hell yeah.
Better than Jorp's stream. I don't think you're cute.
Wow, Birdie straight up.
That hurts, Birdie. That actually,
Oh, please, you're used to rejection. Don't even try.
I'm actually not used to rejection because I never even tried.
What a lad.
That's
Just
fair.
fucking stop them before they can even do something. Just
Birdie commits racial crimes.
thank you. Birdie.
Anyway, so, blah blah. Before Ainz could fix the floors, he felt something happening that was otherworldly. Demiurge, to my side now. The demon didn't know what was bothering his master, but he quickly appeared beside him. Be ready, we are about to have guests from outside this world.
Guys,
But why?
This
But
is
how?
gonna be a Naruto Cucks, like Ein story, isn't it? Isn't
That, or he's gonna get real creative with substitution jutsus.
The gods are able to breach our tombs. Out of thin air came a skeleton that had a dagger in its mouth. Next to it was a woman in a white robe, covered in magical light. And next to her was a floating old man with ripple eyes. Who are you? You should know us, Ainz. After all, you were from our world. Demiurge could sense it. Compared to the tomb, these were all supreme beings.
Of course.
Oh wait, no.
No, they wouldn't be supreme beings because they didn't make anybody.
Compared to the tomb, these three were on another level, but compared to Ainz, they were obviously still weaker. This means that supreme beings truly were stronger than gods.
I mean, technically Naruto did make Boruto. Does that count?
As someone who has actually stared at your picture and drawn your female form, I find no cuteness in you. Thank you, Birdie.
Which reminds me, Birdie, you never really you never followed up with that fucking document I asked you for my friend to make your fucking art.
Yeah.
He asked me like twice and then I forgot.
I do not know what you are talking about, but you are an old man, and you are a kami, and you are the Shinigami. Two of the gods smiled, and the old man smiled.
Okay, so I'm so used to you saying kami, I thought we were talking about a communist.
Yes, I thought it was a communist. I myself was like, okay, you're a communist.
Well, I mean...
We are fighting hunger.
You
mean we're causing it?
Oh, yeah.
My child, my name is Hagagoromo Momomo, or in your former life I would be known as the Sage of Six Paths. But you know that already, don't you, Naruto?
Naruto's eyes. Of course. Of fucking course. Oh, fuck.
Hmm.
You're into me right now.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Why? But why?
Because, as you know well enough,
As
Naruto
Arn
was
said,
the
I'm not
single
fucking
anime
drunk
chick
enough for
in
this.
the fucking world, my friend. Damn, Arn is approaching critical mass.
Oh please, Arn's only drinking 21%. Fucking child shit.
Real talk though, that is kind of weak, dude. But you just need to drink enough of it.
I mean, yeah, I suppose if you drink enough of it, it makes up for the fact that it's weak shit.
And what are you drinking? Fucking absinthe or some shit?
120 proof whiskey. See, Sneaky doesn't believe in things like long-term liver damage.
Look, dude, man, I thought I wasn't gonna make it to 20. I'm kind of just spitballing it at this point.
I mean, to be honest, did any of us think that we were gonna make it to 20? I'm still surprised I'm 25.
His mom sure didn't.
Oh fuck, dude! My entire family was like, "Oh, this kid's gonna die young." I think it peaked when I tried to tell them that I wanted to go professional in MMA, and they were like, "Oh, okay."
Glad you didn't pursue that dream, Captain.
Oh,
Captain, I don't have permanent concussion.
Oh, I do have permanent concussion, but that came from the boxing earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, speaking, because one of my coworkers has a concussion. You just reminded me of something I did to my coworkers today.
You reactivated the concussion?
No.
Like, just walks up to the fucking coworker and hits him on the head with a fucking kosh.
Thank you, Barracks. No, so, I've got a reputation at my workplace at this point for, my commentary.
It's fucking Arn.
Go away, Brexit. I see you're drunk, yes. And so, at work today, the coworker with the concussion, said that she tried getting a tattoo, and then tried convincing her mom to get it with her. And she said her mom then replied with that, with "over my dead body." And I paused and I looked at her, and she looked back at me like, "Oh no, what the fuck are you about to say?" And I just straight face said, "Well, that would make for an awkward funeral." And she's just like, "I fucking hate you so much right now."
I'm just finding amusement in what Arn's going through right now.
And then one of my other coworkers finished up their current work, and they're like, "Oh, does anyone else have any bags that need to be run?" And so I had it.
He's literally typing like you do.
I know. Arn, go write a story about Harry Potter and the generated words.
7 dicks of Allah.
All right. So Google, tell me a story.
Banana.
Let's see here. Okay, Harry Potter and the Banana Boat. Go write a story. I believe in you.
I don't think you can write basic words right now. As he said, oh yes, new a banana stunt way, no fuck freaking young. I have an Indian accent, so I don't think I read that right.
Anyway,
No, the man's dead.
so I was told by my coworker to pass her the bag. Again, this plays into the reputation I've gained.
As the bag passer.
And I pull the bag out, and one of my coworkers goes to reach for the bag to pass it to her, and I pull it back, and I go like I'm about to throw a football, and they all fucking duck. They're like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "No, I'm not gonna fucking throw it. I'm not stupid."
I mean, you are.
You are.
I mean, yeah, I'm stupid, but I'm not gonna get myself fired. Stupid.
You are.
Random word generator.
Well, you don't need one of those. Just ask Arn to type anything.
I'm trying to think of. Okay, well, fuck you too. Okay, wow. All right. Nouns only. Generate word. Okay. Harry Potter and the Stone Bee. Do it.
B.
He says no.
Now is TH for fucking toe. I Arn, I think you might wanna sleep. He's game.
It's gamer time. I see. Interesting. Okay. Well, now that I'm glad we've helped clear up Arn's inability to write, let us keep moving. Arns flares up, and the entire tomb just jumps inside his room to help him. Who are you? Asks woman with black hair and horns in her head. In her head? Ooh.
Interesting.
Oops.
Harry Potter and the gamer word. Yeah.
No.
Oh no! You do not.
How dare you address our master in such a way? A small girl with large breasts wearing dark red dress and umbrella had her eyes glowing against three beings before them.
A small girl with large breasts and wearing a dark red
I
dress.
am not drunk enough to deal with this.
Is that shell tier? I am.
Yes, it's Shelter. A blue ice beetle man was staring them down and was ready to fight if they made single move against them. How do you know my old name? No one, not even my brethren, knew that name. I forgot that name, and now you're here to drag that name back out. How dare you? Give me one reason to not destroy all three of you. The gods knew it. This was bad sign, and he was not happy. More importantly, he didn't want to remember his past as Naruto Uzumaki.
This is dumb.
Painful. It's like two cardboard cutouts having a conversation with one another.
Lord Ainz, who is our Naruto? Ah, well, you see, Albedo, that was my human name when I was first born. I was a human that had power over chakra. It is mixture of spiritual and physical energy that is able to do things similar to magic. However, I was the container to a powerful demon at the time. Really, you were human, my lord. Gamma and the others were starting to put things together. Lord Ainz was always softer to children humans. Ah yes, the children humans.
Ah, yes, the
The
human
children
miniature versions.
humans.
They never knew why, but it was clearly a sign that he was still attached to being a human child.
Listen, there is the whole paragraph right below this that's one dialogue.
Yes, I realized. They realized that when they spoke illy, they spoke illy.
Ah, yes.
Okay? Of humans, it was insulting their lord, and they would have to repent for that in the future. Okay, first... Okay, so... I was a human once upon a time, says the Elder Lich. Oh man, so all those times we were insulting humans, we were insulting you? No! I am an Elder Lich! I purposely discarded my humanity!
Cause that was weak.
Elder.
I just read this fucking paragraph. It's literally one big paragraph of like info dump. I love it.
Time for the info dump. Yes, I was, and with demon in my stomach, I was hated and treated like garbage. Sadly, my parents died to protect village and seal monster away into me to save all of them. They spat on their memory, and the only people that really cared about me were former leader of village, and women I met many years ago. She was cursed child as well, always treated like garbage at all times from the day. From those times I was beaten, starved, and neglected. I managed to make friends and allies, and finally had a mission that would end my life. I was tasked with bringing back a traitor.
Song in the back.
What?
Can you play a Linkin Park song in the back?
I could, but then I would get copy struck by both YouTube and yeah. You can hum it. Crawling in my crawl.
I don't think that's the right song. Oh, they're all the same. Who the fuck is?
Skeeky, give me political idea of right. Okay, political.
Naruto brings communism to the masses but gets murdered by Sasuke, who is a follower of neo-capitalism.
Harry Potter leads the war on Canada. Day of Rake occurs.
There was a war on Canada?
There should be.
Oh yeah, War of 1812.
What happened?
We need another one. Day of Rake
Technically lost.
must occur. They
that was
burned
because-
down the White House, and so we kind of killed a shit ton of them.
Oh.
Bear in mind, they were still British at this point.
Oh.
How about if I instead cranked its war on France and fuck baguette? Oh, he did France and Germany already, though.
Yeah.
Harry Potter and the Spanish Inquisition.
Now the question is Harry a Jew or part of the Inquisition?
Harry Potter and the Third Crusade.
He's a secret Jew leading the Inquisition.
Wait, how many crusades were there?
4?
Not
5?
enough.
The,
Well, I
the
do agree with the
Crusades started
sentiment.
getting bogged down very early. Like past like the Second Crusade, everybody was pretty much a shit to each other.
It's got
Potter-
recent relevant news. Okay, fine.
Harry Potter fights against the Brexit law, loses
Oh,
custody of
we
his
already did that.
children.
We already did Brexit.
All right. What else was there? Impeachment.
So let's see.
Dumbledore gets
Google
impeached.
News. Um. Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter and the Facebook inquiry.
It could be. It could be. Huh.
You what's the name of that little kid who was fighting against environment?
Greta Thunberg.
Oh yeah, fuck that one.
Ah, yes. Harry Potter and the Greta Thunberg assassination.
Or we could talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein. I don't fucking know who he said.
Did you hear that the guards that were guarding Epstein committed suicide?
Bruh.
Did they? I knew they were found to be grossly negligent and like doing illegal stuff, including falsifying records.
I don't know. Did they?
Oh yeah, that came out that like they would be like drinking when they were supposed to be watching people, and they collaborated to falsify the records to show that they made patrols when they did not.
Suicide attempts go missing. Guards say they were scapegoated and framed. No. Google says the guards have not committed suicide, so I guess we'll just have to trust Google. And that's not lying to us.
Indeed.
Anyway.
This Malfoy was Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, I should use that as a new insult. I'm gonna remember that one, Kilm.
Oh, hung like Epstein?
Yeah, hung like Epstein.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
I don't even want to know.
You know, because their dick is super small.
Yeah,
Hold up.
Anyway, I was demon and everyone hated me and they all beat me and then I died. And then afterwards I saw the demon disappear and then I was reborn. And then I went on to become a person and then I met the people who later became supreme beings and ruler of Nazareth. Yes, Naruto, we are all deeply sorry that we allowed this to happen to you. Yes, who would have guessed everyone was in on your death on that mission other than Yame and Aniko? When you died, it was confirmed Yame found out her father was using the stand to poison your ramen.
Stand up! This fucking causes Star Platinum to
poison ramen!
Oh no, they ruined my ramen machine.
I was using the ramen stand to poison him the entire time.
Naruto, you were meant to free the world from the chains of darkness, but sadly, your death was the catalyst to allow me to see that I did things wrong. It is time for the shinobi to be genocided.
I see,
said Hagoro Momomo. I see, but I am not going back there. There's nothing worth fighting there. Not even if we give you something? Ainz says, what are you offering? We are offering you freedom.
we're offering you big booty bitches.
We are offering you freedom to kill people. And we can give you the one thing you always wanted. A body to have children with. You mean Ainz can't have children? The women were horrified when Demiurge confirmed this, and they were all crying.
Look, I almost want, like, one of them, someone to just come out of the woodwork and be like, he has no dick.
What do you mean the skeleton has no penis? The penis is not a bone. But it's hard! It's still not a bone.
But they call sex the bone zone.
Somewhere.
No bones involved.
Oh, damn it. What's his name? The skeleton. The stupid skeleton that makes pasta.
Papyrus?
Yes,
Papyrus,
somewhere
yeah.
Papyrus is disappointed.
I mean, isn't he always?
I think Sans is older than him.
Yeah, Santa's always the one. He's not even disappointed. He's just like he just goes with the flow, doesn't he? I mean, don't quote
Oh
me,
my
I mean,
god. A
He's the
human
very
body would be
alien.
nice to have, but what else will my body come with? And the Hoggromeros held up his eyes, and they looked like his eyes, but they also had Sharingan Tomomos in them. And they were spinning. These are the Rinasharangans. They're the most powerful eyes in the world, and only I have them. My mother also had them, but she has the complete set. This is not the complete set. If you do this for us, not only will everyone in your tomb come with you, freedom to do as you please, but we will also give you human body that can use all of the chakra. Ainz thought it over and said, okay, maybe. But we also want to have everyone here have immunity from chakra. Kami nodded and said, okay, you're all now immune to illusions and mind control and can now ignore jutsus.
What?
Yeah.
Of course. The ultimate thing, plot armor.
My guardians, now that we've been granted plot armor by literally God, we now have a new land to explore and conquer, and I expect you all to do that for me.
Isn't that basically what this what like the people what the like church people said to the people going on the crusades?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And all the guardians go, okay, let's do this. Let's go conquer this world. And then
Jerusalem
Ainz
doesn't
said,
happen.
okay, let's do this. And then the gods nodded and were like, we're sorry for this, Ainz, but we're hope for the best now. And in the lands of Uzu, Ainz arrived in the land of Uzu. And everyone was like, whoa, we're in a different land. And then one of the maids was like, oh my god, Ainz, you're a human now. And everyone's like, holy shit, the skeleton was replaced with a human.
Oh no.
El Gaspo.
Oh, no.
And Ainz looked exactly like he did when he was Naruto. Except his eyes are red now with rings of black around him.
Oh god, he's got limbo rings.
And he
Of course
was
he does.
tall, and his fingers were claw-like, and he was super buff.
Oh dude.
He's an elder lich. Elder liches are not buff, my man.
Nah, he's super buff.
He's gonna hit someone with a book. He's gonna hit you with knowledge and then beat you to the ground with morals and learning methodologies.
It
I'ma
seems
learn you good, boy.
I can use chakra in this form, while in my bone form I can use magic. Forever, with no restrictions. Naruto turned to the group. What do you think about my new form? Everyone bowed and smiled
Do
at their
you
ruler,
like
and
like
Shoutier
her?
spoke with a blush on her face. My lord, you are the prettiest, most beautiful person to ever exist. You are literally beauty incarnate. You radiate
lord.
power that is out of this world. You might look
My
human,
lord,
but in
you're a
truth you are
human
more,
princess.
and we shall always remember that. Your form
No,
speaks
no,
of...
he's definitely a human now. That was the entire point, guys.
He's a pretty princess.
Your form speaks of great warrior power. Your instinct in this form is second to none, and you are truly worth praise.
Stroke my ego a bit more. Huh.
I mean, honestly, I'm just
See,
impressed.
That's when he should be going, are you saying I wasn't before?
Anthony.
So honestly, this is just dumb from here on out. I mean, we kind of got the point of what's going on here. What we should really check out, though, is the reviews. And I say this because what's really important here is if Fairy Tale Dragon Slayer left a review. Lomi
If you
Coffee
haven't checked
did.
my reviews for a while.
It's cringe, so cliched, edgy, so edgy.
Wow, people are actually calling him out.
Hey mate, I gotta say, you're one of the best writers I've ever seen. Would you be interested in writing a Naruto Shadow Heart story for me? I can't find any good ones, but I want you to write one for me. You need more space. Not a naniom want to read wall of text. Interesting
People are actually
concept,
calling him out.
and I'm looking forward to reading more.
Of course.
Your story started off very good. One critique though, you make large walls of text. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you need to nerf the characters from Overlord. I think the ninjas should be able to put up a better fight.
Well, they kind of can't because he's like, hey, they all have plot armor.
Literally plot armor.
Naruto Chikara Arbara.
See, you guys, like... I know I've told this story before, but it's worth retelling. Like, I make the joke every once in a while of, like, have you literally never read a book before? How is your formatting this garbage? Like, I can understand making mistakes in formatting, but if it's, like, a style that you've developed, it's like, what the fuck are you doing, you stupid dumbass?
Sneaky, about that. So I recently like learned about this when now that I work at like a fucking studio. So there's like this one artist there who really thinks that he's a writer and shit, and he was like, oh wait, like he saw me fucking writing like the fucking shit post, and he turned up and was like, oh, I write. Do you want to see some of the stuff I write? And I just checked it out. This man, I don't think he's ever read a book in his life and everything like that. But he somehow has this belief that he is capable of writing a full size novella just because like it's just words, Lamau.
Yeah, here's the problem. It's because of sites like this where it's like, you are a fabulous writer when they write this kind of absolute garbage.
But that's what you weren't here for this story. So I confronted someone one time with a really shit tier story. Like, I'm talking, it was boring as hell. The dialogue was super stilted, and there was like 3 paragraphs between each line of dialogue, and each sentence was a new paragraph. And I left a review saying, have you ever read a book before? And they said no, they hadn't. They learned how to write from reading fan fiction of web novels.
Of course.
And I'm just sitting here like, holy shit, we have actually reached that point, haven't we? I just hate people that get
Well, it's
reviews.
like, remember what happened with Mass Effect.
Yeah. Oh, what? They hired some real fucking dumb writers?
Who was a fan fiction writer.
Yeah, she was an Asari romance fanfiction writer. And
So like, how did you confront them? Did you like actually just go up to them and be like, "Hey, you want to come on the stream? We can have a talk about this."
oh no, this was in on Space Battles.
Oh, okay, that way.
Yeah, no, I left a comment and they replied, and we went back and forth a bit, and I rewrote their first chapter, and they were like, "Oh, wow, that is a lot better." I was like,
I mean,
"Yeah."
that's kind of what happens, right? Like, people don't understand that the ideas they have don't really become great stories without good execution.
Well, it's not.
Like-
It's not even that, because part of the whole idea process is figuring out the idea that works. You know, the whole the Thomas Edison thing is obviously just completely historically inaccurate, but it's still a good saying. Is that Thomas Edison found 1,000 ways light bulbs don't work and one way that light bulbs
second.
do work. And it's the exact same thing for stories. It's you can have a shit ton of ideas. Not every idea is going to be writable, or you know, if it is writable, not every writable idea is going to pan out in terms of audience and interest.
Quite common in fan fiction. You get well-written stories with shit plot, and you get shitty written stories with an actually decent idea.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest, dude. Like, that one fucking dreaming of sunshine thing.
Yes.
That's kind of like a mixture of both.
Yeah.
It's
Basically.
got the idea down. It's got the concept down.
Well,
It's
no,
even got the writing
honestly,
down.
actually, though, Dreaming of Sunshine was a good story until the author tried to do original content. And that's where you saw the difference in content being supported by canon on already established events, which was a good first half of the story, I would say. And then the second half of the story was when they tried to branch off and do their own thing, now that they've diverged from canon. And it was an absolute shit show. Characters that made no sense, powers that made no
It was
sense.
that. My issue was the main writing. The fact that the pacing was so
Yes.
fucking abysmal.
Yes, the pacing was quite off, yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Some writers actually do their best work when they're off canon, when like canon no longer is bothering them. But then
Yes.
there's like half the Naruto thing. Like I'll be honest, like the Naruto fanfiction stuff, there's some really good shit there. Like
Yes.
fucking Patriots John, well written.
Yeah, Patriots Dawn, that was a good one, yeah.
Sadly, it didn't go too far. You know, like it was like a more realistic take on what the fucking Shinobi Wars should be like.
I mean,
But and then there's this one author who tried two stories. I forgot his fucking name. But one of them was basically like Naruto, but in like the period when the Senju and the Uchihas were at war.
Tis Famina?
I don't think that's the one, but I'm not sure. But like in that one, like Naruto was a fucking like brother of Madara instead.
Oh, no.
No Jinchuriki, no nothing. Not even like a really good warrior. Like he was nowhere near as good as Madara was, or like even his like second brother. But like that's the thing. Like it's well written, but the thing is, his other story, which is like a Naruto, like it's a normal Naruto story in like, the current day, is better written. But like the thing is, he just can't work well with canon. Every time like the canon story events are happening, he just kind of just like doesn't seem to understand that what he does would affect them as well.
Yeah, that's two things that I see very often when it comes to fan fiction. Is the first thing is the idea / premise of the story just not making sense in the general context, or alternatively, and or I suppose I should say instead is the butterfly effect. Is that authors really don't quite wrap their heads around cause and effect. Thank you, Bicephius Max Wolficus.
Yo, that's Tacho, my boy.
Oh, cool. Definitely, it's a.
It's just one of the failings, I believe, like of fan fiction in general. Like there are some good writers and there are some good people with ideas.
No, I mean
It's just that there is no intermingling. They both think that they're good where they are.
Well, I think it's sort of like. See, because I don't want to be like, oh, there should be like high standards for fan fiction. You know, it's fucking fan fiction. You know, it's fiction written by fans. But I think we've drifted so far away from fans writing fiction, because it's just like, if you're a fan of Naruto, for example, why are you writing a Naruto modern, no chakra alternative universe where Naruto is running a coffee shop?
Yo, about that, my biggest gripe on fan fiction is people who don't respect the fucking content that their characters come from.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things I believe in fan fiction that I personally like in crossover especially is how the power scales cross over. How does this power work in tandem with this power, etc., etc. That's what I love to fucking work on.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, there's this one dude, Master Athlon. He just brings Naruto as like a fucking this is Naruto. He like ramen, and then he just like kind of puts them into that world, gives him that world's powers and everything. It's just like he's a new character. Just fucking write your own fan fiction based on your
Yeah.
own character.
Yeah, and it's really disappointing because it's really taking the fan out of the fan fiction. Because it's just like, I am here for, if it's a Naruto section story, I'm here for Naruto. Maybe I'll read a interestingly premised story about, say, Ino's perspective or something. Good Wife. That was a really good one. But,
Read something from Sasuke's perspective is written well.
I've never seen a well-written Sasuke perspective
That is the
story.
problem, isn't it? That is the fucking issue right there.
But it's just like, if you are a fan of Naruto, if you are a fan, which is taken from the word fanatic, which means to be obsessive about it, if you are a fan of the Naruto story, you would think that if you sat there and said, I'm going to write Naruto fan fiction, it would be true to what you're a fan of. Otherwise, you're not a fucking fan.
Like, that's another thing. Like, people just tap into the Naruto fuck, and I'm to blame for this. But I began like that. People tap into the Naruto fan base because it's big. You write a
Yeah,
Naruto harem story
true.
with grammar that fucking is worse than like an eighth grader,
That's true.
and it'll still get 1,000 people following it and telling you you're the fucking hottest shit on the fucking.
But see, but that still is like, that still is my point though. So even if you have writers trying to game the system, as it were, and trying to tap into that fan base,
Sorry.
yeah, basically, and trying to tap into the large fan base by writing some shit tier story, you would think you would still, the fans of the fandom would look at this shitty story that has a non-Naruto character with a non-Naruto plot line using non-Naruto powers, and all of the Naruto characters are completely shittily written and out of character like hell. You would think a fan of Naruto would be like, whoa, this isn't Naruto at all. You got all these things wrong. But no, they just sit there and go, oh my god, I can beat my dick to this.
Oh, dude. There's another point I wanted to bring up, but I fucking forgot it.
The only time I want to write fan fiction is when there's no fan fiction I want to read.
Naruto.
Yeah? Godlike Naruto. Well,
Like, I can kind of understand when you put Naruto in certain fucking situations, he turns out to be a fucking nuclear bomb amongst like toxic explosives. But the thing is, there are methods of balancing overpowered characters, as taught to us by many
Yeah.
series these days that become popular with overpowered characters. Like Mob Psycho. Let's be very honest.
right? Yeah.
His entire thing is he is hampered by himself. His entire fucking philosophy is he's nothing special because he has these powers. The thing is, every single writer who writes overpowered Naruto
Mm.
wants to write him as some kind of fucking god. Wants to write him as some kind of fucking like almighty deity that nobody can speak up against, otherwise everybody's against him. Like, it's like the whole fucking matter.
Right, yeah, we've all seen it. I distinctly remember the time I read a story about a god like Naruto who was only 3 years old, but he had the body of a buff 5-year-old, which made it okay for him to have sex with his mom.
Oh, Jojo. No, wait. No,
And it was just like, what?
here's the other thing, like, it's like if you're really a fan of something, you don't want to disrespect it, right? Is the reason why I myself have not written anything for Hunter x Hunter or Berserk or something like that.
It's the same reason why I don't look for fan fiction of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Why I don't look for fan fiction of Ghost in a Shell standalone complex.
Exactly, because I don't think that I or anybody I know, or like maybe somebody's done justice out there, but like it's for me, it's always better to find like a story that's like not that fucking like from like a fandom I like, but have it like pleasantly surprise me, like the games we play,
Right.
stuff like
Right.
that. It's like I would never expect quality from Ruby. That's like those two words do not match up.
That's fair. Yeah.
But to find someone like D times D. It's the most fucking base thing ever, but the demon amongst devils exists.
There's also surprisingly from Third Fang, Go Away, I'm Watching Porn.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I love that one.
That's a
dude.
great one. Good Scientist. It's okay.
Holy Man of Church Creek.
Holy Man at Church Creek, yeah.
Then there's of course the one with Shiro. I forgot to say the other one.
The Demon Lord's Devil or Hero of the Demon Lord or something like that. Yeah, that one was
Do Me a
okay.
Wrong- like according to me, Do Me a Wrong is the only harem story I've read that's
Oh fucking dude, Do Me a Wrong is like god tier. If I could rank fan fiction, that's definitely up in the S rank right there.
yeah. Like the thing is, the way he gave personalities to the most cardboard cutout characters is just something. Like Surzex has a personality, and I'm just like Surzex's entire thing is I am strong, big, and I love my sister.
Yeah.
Even death.
Holy Man is actually terrible. Okay, look, Barracks.
You're entitled to your opinion, but you're wrong.
As Super Potatoes is currently my largest donator, your opinion is wrong. Fanfiction tier list when no, dude, you don't understand. I have over 1,000 and I'm nearing 1,100 favorites. Okay,
And my story isn't any of them.
it's not. It's not even
Yeah,
on my
just-
follows list. The amount of time it would take for me to tier list all of my favorites would be immense. And
Plus, he would not be able to do it because favorites.
well, I'm also not able to do it because fanfiction.net only shows the top 500.
That too, yes. And you could technically make it on a Google Sheet, but imagine putting in that much work.
Yeah, it's just really, it's not worth it, you know? Just not worth it. I was actually gonna do a gamer marathon. Maybe I'll save it for next Friday so you can join in. But Orpheus Kidwell, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Big Naruto writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never read anything by him, but he shows up on the podcast. That's how
Yeah,
I know.
he does. He was a huge Naruto writer back in like 2013, 2014. He had like 20 some stories out. Decently original ideas, but like it goes back to what we were saying earlier, how we were talking about a decently good idea, but just absolute shit tier execution.
Oh yeah.
And that was basically him. He had some ideas that made me go, okay, I'm following you, yeah, go on.
Oh, so he's the very opposite kind of writer than I am. I like that.
And he recently just started updating again, but he's writing 2 gamer stories right now. One is a Naruto roguelike gamer story,
Yeah.
in which Naruto gets power-ups based on achievements he completes during a run.
So
And
it's
when,
like Risk of Rain 2, but Naruto.
but when he dies, he has to restart.
That sounds interesting. See, gamer stories and even fucking gamer mangas, they're like my fucking guilty pleasure.
They really are, yeah. And
Like,
his
there's this new one I've been reading from
Yeah.
Korea called Solo Leveling. It's just actually fucking good.
okay, maybe I'll check that out. His other one is a self-insert purgatory gamer fic, where his character his character currently has started off in Skyrim, but the plan is to make it a multi-world jaunt. That
Which reminds me, we have to continue the fucking Skyrim shit post.
oh man, fucking Christ, dude! Like I barely want to look at Ruby these days. I mean, I might, if I get drunk enough, I might sit down and try and hash out an outline or something.
That story didn't go anywhere, did it?
Holy shit, nobody wanted to read. Like, I understand it was a Skyrim shitpost.
We actually put more work into this than the fucking actual story that we wrote.
Yeah, but like, we actually put a lot of work into adapting it. And nobody looked at it.
What the hell did I come back to?
Lamenting the fact that our Skyrim shitpost took more effort out of us than the Naruto Ruby shit tier story that we wrote. and yet
Oh, yeah.
nobody looked at that.
That shit tier story with like four or five more chapters could have entered the top 10 for the fucking site. That's not even a joke.
Oh god, I want to fucking shoot myself.
Because like the thing is, okay, like I think the Skyrim thing didn't work out quite well because literally there was no plot in the end. We just put so much shit posting and there's literally nothing.
It was literally only shitpost, yeah.
Sneaky Devil and Cruel Rune Productions presents Ruby.
Oh my god, it was such a good shitpost, though! Oh. Anyway, yeah, you know, like, But my point being is that we're going to be doing a gamer fic marathon because Orpheus has written 2 gamer fics.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he was recommended a bunch of gamer fics by this one guy that joined his Discord server. And I was looking through this list that this guy recommended. I'm just like, holy shit, I know a lot of these, and they're all garbage. Gamer
Which
stories.
reminds me, are Atin and Max still writing the fucking respawning?
No, they...
Because
Max gave up.
I haven't read past chapter 9.
No, the problem is with the Respawn story and the Naruto Ruby story is that the newest season of Ruby and the previous season of Ruby, that was season 6 and the current season 7, yeah, those 2 seasons just absolutely sapped the willpower out of us to touch Ruby again. Because...
Here's the thing. I was fine with rewriting it.
You
as a
guys
shit
actually went and saw seasons past 3.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yes.
I have only seen up to season 4, episode 1. That's as far as I know.
Well, see, the thing is that Max had access to season 5, and he was like, "Come on, Sneaky, you know, just give it a try again." Because he originally tried to get me to watch it back when it first came out on YouTube.
Alright.
And I looked at episode 1 and was like, "Holy shit! What is this YouTube poop tier animation garbage?"
Oh, yeah.
Which was a completely accurate statement.
And I just exited out of it immediately and never looked back.
Imagine doing your fucking animation in Unreal Engine 4. Like, even the people who make games on Unreal Engine 4 use something else like Maya to do the animation, then import it into the fucking thing.
Well, he wasn't using Unreal Engine. He was using fucking not even Blender, was it?
Animation in Blender?
He was... no, dude, I knew a lot of people that do animation in Blender.
No, see, animation in Blender's okay until you're making like walk cycle or something like that, right?
Well,
Something
see, that's
simple.
why a lot of people use the Minecraft bodies.
Bro, just fucking use Source Filmmaker, man.
I know, right? No, he was using, not Maya. They switched to Maya, for season 4 and beyond. But they were using what the fuck was he using?
Yeah, I know that he was using some fucking ghetto-ass program, which like...
Oh, the worst part about it was he wasn't even using the studio version. He was using the free trial.
Oh, yeah, and he stole some garbage, didn't he?
And they just never, like, actually moved on to the studio version because you had to pay for the studio version. So they just downloaded the free version for everyone in the animation studio. And oh my god, it was a fucking shit show, man. But
I ain't even kidding. Like, I know that like the first 3 seasons were done in some really shit tier animation tool.
it was absolute garbage. But I watched. Barrick says I watched 4 and then said fuck it. Honestly, 4 is still to this day the worst season.
Oh yeah, that I can believe in. Like 4 was just info dump.
I would say, well, and we want to point out, like, past season 3, we kept watching it as a group because we were like, let's laugh.
It's a ritual.
Like, no, season 5 was, I want to see where they take it. It looks like they've gotten their shit together. And then the end of season 5 happened. We all just sat there and were like, that was the season? That was the climax?
All
Oh
I
yeah, we
know
were super
about it,
disappointed.
all I know about it is through Wikipedia. Through like wiki articles.
So basically, season 1 through 3 was Monty Ohm Productions tier of, I just want to make fight scenes, I'm not really sure what plot is, here's
I
some
think the entire
characters
thing
talking to
season
each
1
other.
and 2 was like They basically tried to make this like a Hogwarts for like kids who kill monsters.
Like I said, the thing is that Monty is an animator. He's not a writer.
That is very true.
He has
And
no
Miles is
knowledge of
really good,
assets
similar, right?
beyond what works. He has no knowledge of geography beyond cities go on land. And he has no knowledge of writing beyond people say words to each other.
Oh, that is definitely true.
And so he had no real idea of where he was going or what he was doing, but he just drew a lot of inspiration from a lot of different things and then kind of palette swapped them and said, okay, yeah, this should be good enough for me to do a bunch of cool looking fights. And that was pretty much his point to do. And I don't have a problem with that, honestly. If he stuck to the whole slice of life, action, adventure sort of theming he was going with,
It would have been fine.
No, that would be
it definitely wouldn't have been top tier. It definitely, I was giving it maybe
enjoyable. I think.
a C at best, but it wouldn't have been a don't watch this C. It would be more of like a don't take it seriously C.
So it's like an Afro samurai, basically.
Yeah, basically.
You're here for kick-ass fight scenes.
Basically.
Not
It's
kick-ass, more like, well, choreography.
They kind of move in a way.
Don't take
It
it
might not be
seriously?
normal.
Yeah, pretty much, Barracks, pretty much. And then season 4 was just, Monty's dead, we can't do fight scenes anymore, none of our animators really know what's going on, we've switched to a new program, I guess we should actually try and, fill in all of the plot, now that we have to figure out what the fuck plot is. And so they pretty much see all of season 4 was just info dump and then a decent.
They were like, "Hey,
fight.
Miles, you can write, right?" Miles was like, "Yeah, I've written a few letters and shit." Yeah, bro.
I've written letters before. And then season 5. Season 5 was the season we had hoped for because, all of the animators have gotten used to the program by now. And they took some time off to, quote unquote, think about the plot. And then season 5, I will give them credit for this. They did a decent build-up. They had events progressing in season 5, and you knew the climax was coming. You were like, okay, fucking the climax of this fight, it's all coming together. It's gonna be this huge fight. And then we got to the final episode.
I see.
And they showed none of the fight.
Yeah, we should just kind of make one Ruby story each and send our resumes over to Rooster Teeth and see if they hire us for the next season. Honestly, I'm kidding you not. Considering the fucking wavy work, you could probably make a better season than they can.
Probably.
And that's not even fucking boasting.
It's really sad though. But the season 5 was just the climax was the crux. This was the sell point, I guess you could say, of the rebranding of Ruby. Of guys, it's not Monty's work anymore. We're taking over, and we're gonna show you our best face for this. And then they didn't show anything.
Hell yeah, dude.
They showed up to the meeting, and they handed out the paper, and everyone looked down at the paper, and it was just a blank fucking sheet. And you're like, excuse me, there's nothing on this paper. And they're like, yeah, that's our idea.
They just turned to fucking Miles Luna, and he's like, bruh, what if, I was John? Bruh.
Basically. And so that was season 5. So then when season 6 started, we were just like, okay.
By the way, just proof that self-inserts are always a bad idea.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so we were looking at season 6 with, well, there's literally no way they can make this worse. They took an action-adventure story and removed the action and the adventure and the slice of life and tried to make it a drama romance story. Okay, what's season 6 gonna do? And then season 6 was like, hey, I heard you guys like plot holes, so I'm gonna give you plot holes, so you can have plot holes while you plot holes. Also, here's a MacGuffin.
Hell yeah.
And then Itachi showed up. I mean, not Itachi. Fucking, what was her name?
Itachi Uchiha.
Itachi, the old woman, showed up and taught Ruby the meaning of friendship, and that friendship was magic. So you know that friendship would power her magical eyes to kill the Dementors.
Do they
Grimm.
realize that they're not really writing this story for kids, right? Like, this is like a teenage and above show.
I don't think they know they're writing a story.
I don't think they know their writing. I don't think they know that their writing skills are shit.
I don't think they know what a right is.
Yeah. Hitachi teaches Harry to murder Dementors. This already sounds more interesting than Ruby.
And then Harry, you can say,
Harry learns the power of friendship is magic, but
Okay,
taught
guys,
to him
hear
by
me
Itachi.
Hear me out. A wrong boy who lived story
To
but by
kill the
third
heartless.
chapter- No, listen. Wrong boy who lived. It's a Naruto crossover. By the third chapter, Harry's gotten sick of everybody's shit and gets the Mangekyo.
We've already had that.
fucking Tsukiyomi's everybody.
Yeah, but Sneaky done well. I mean,
No, that's impossible.
See, you're saying done well to us. We can't do our we haven't done our lives well. We're talking about making a fucking story.
Dude, I'm fucking sitting here drinking maple syrup out of a can filled with whiskey, reading bad fan fictions, talking to an Indian
With
on
whom
the
you
internet.
sometimes write bad fanfiction.
also, just a side note, Sneaky. When are we gonna write our story?
That's a good question.
Which
Probably
one, Sneaky? Here you go. Hold up.
Probably when I have the money to support myself writing a story.
Holy shit! That is a friend person.
Because right now, all of my free time is being taken up by depression and desperately
You're
trying
sneaky.
not to sink further into depression.
Yeah, Sneaky,
Woo! I hear that.
Can you add me on Discord so I can send you a link, because I can't send you a friend
Oh,
request on Discord.
yeah. Let me hit that up.
Motherfucking like button.
But no, as I was saying, season 6 was literally a filler arc. None of the things they did mattered. None of the things they did will have any form of repercussion. Until, like, the final episode where they had the Atlas military, show up in their Gurren Lagann, giant mech. And
Oh, come on. Those were
they had to fight Godzilla, Kraken Grim.
Yeah, but come on.
Leviathan.
With their with their Halo hard light shield, hard light dust.
Yeah. Also, can't I forget the Giga Drill Breaker.
Oh, Jesus.
Which reminds me, Atin. Have you seen the latest, what do you call it, like the new raid tier for Final Fantasy?
Dude, I have done none of the raids except for
Like,
Coil.
have you fought Leviathan?
Yes. What the fuck did they do? Because I got all the way up to, I beat Extreme? Yeah, I beat Extreme. And that was a pain in the ass.
And then season 7 happened.
Wait, there's a season 7?
There's a season 7. And let me summarize season 7 for you.
Sneaky, you're slurring.
Season 7
Oh wait, no, don't watch that link. I'll have to give you one.
is everyone's gay now.
Including Crow.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, that did nothing to help the theory that Tai Yang fucked everyone on his team.
I have consumed half of this bottle of whiskey.
Wait, literally, like everybody's just suddenly gay now.
Everyone's gay now.
Well, so they officially made Bumblebee a thing.
Alright.
They haven't officially made White Rose a thing.
Oh
They're
no,
like,
no! They absolutely made White Rose a thing when they had
'cause they
Ruby merge her fucking soul with Weiss's.
That's true. The whole semblance
Lord.
thing.
Yeah, so basically in season 6, they had this moment where Ruby grabbed Weiss and ran at the Grim with her semblance. Except instead of Ruby turning into roses and Weiss getting flung along at high speeds, Weiss also turned into roses, and then they did this twister attack where the red roses intertwined with the white roses.
Of course.
Yes. So,
So, Atin, are you seeing the video I just sent you?
Hold on. Let's see.
anyway, as I was saying,
This, I mean, I see Leviathan's theme. Oh,
season
no,
7
what have
is
they
a
done?
shit show. Everyone's gay now. They added an entire new cast of 8 more characters and made some
Oh, you
totally
gotta be kidding me.
obvious massive
think
hint
this is
drops
like
about
Leviathan,
what's going to
that's big.
happen. That
I'll
they're
see what
totally
the
going to
title.
360 trope spin
No,
on.
I'm saying that fight's going to be annoying.
Oh, right, and
But that's
because
the normal version.
you've
The
never
savage version is
ever
even more shit.
bothered to like pay attention to anything, Kilm, get
Yeah.
ready for what Atlas is. So
Alright.
so Team Ruby flew to Atlas City.
Mm-hmm.
Atlas City is separated into 2 sections. The rich people and everyone else. And the everyone else section is built like a 1950s
I would say 60s, but
1950 1950s 60s idea of what a steampunk dystopia looks like. That's
well, no, Sneaky. It's hardly even a steampunk dystopia. It's honestly just a 1950s brown. Like,
Yeah.
imagine if you suddenly were in a noir story. Like everything was a 1950s brownstone.
yes.
Oh god.
Yep. And they gas lamps and shit.
Is it named Mantle at least?
Yes.
I was fucking right all the fucking time.
Yep.
Bitches.
And then the rich people section is a floating city built above in the clouds. And it's nice and futurism and shiny and bright and colorful.
Okay, Midgar, we get it.
Yeah, dude, the Midgar vibe was super hard.
Jesus Christ, dude.
It was so bad. It was so
Alright,
fucking bad. And then Penny's dad.
Rebuilt her, by the
Well, I
way.
know that Penny's back.
Well, yeah, well that's fucking nothing. But Penny's
Small
dad
victories, small victories.
has
No, but
a
that-
wheelchair, and his wheelchair isn't a wheelchair though. It is
The mechanism.
the most retarded AT-AT walker-legged wheelchair I have ever
Sneaky,
witnessed.
It's an AT. Let's be real.
Oh,
It's an ATTE.
okay. Okay, Huey Emmerich, we get it.
Like, literally, the front legs are front jointed, and the back legs are back jointed, and it like scuttles along.
So
It's like,
So
how
it's
the
basically one of
fuck?
those things from Metal Gear Solid 4, right?
Yeah, he's like the most advanced forerunner when it comes to robotics, prosthesis, programming, and a whole shit ton of other technology. And he's credited for
Arn-
basically making Atlas. And
Arn is literally using accent marks now.
yeah, he's yeah,
Beyond gone.
and his wheelchair is like the most retarded thing you could ever build, ever. Also, they have moved away from elemental dust. Everything is now dust. You have flying dust, you have force field dust, you have missile dust, you have mech dust.
Hey, when do we get crack dust?
You get handcuff dust. I'm not even kidding about this one. Like, I made that joke.
No, those were just like magic handcuff bolas.
Yes, but they were literally handcuff dust bolas.
Were they? I tried not to pay attention to a lot of
I made the joke, and then as I made the joke, they were like, "We're gonna deactivate the dust crystals in your handcuffs now."
Also, they made Winter a bitch.
Yeah.
Of course.
Not like an I care about my sister bitch, just like a bitch that you don't want to associate.
That is so fucking weird.
Also, Ironwood's gay now.
Ironwood's getting what?
Ironwood is gay for Crow.
Now, come on, they didn't make it. There could be argument there. They made it far less obvious than. By the way, do you want to know who they made Crow gay for? The guy who has a good luck semblance.
Also, Crow's semblance is officially bad luck. It's no longer mysterious.
That I know. Like, that I knew, like, because of the whole season 4 fucking thing. Like, I did have to keep on track with the wiki, at least.
But, it was, we haven't even bothered watching the newer episodes. We got to, like, episode 2, and we're just like, fuck it.
Man, listen,
we don't care.
Oh, you watch My Hero Academia, right?
I watched till season 2, I guess.
Yeah. Did you see the classes versus class graduation exam thing where they had to be like in a city and shit, and they were doing a whole bunch of combat or whatever?
No, did not see that. The last thing I saw was like the fucking tournament thing where like Bakugo won.
Oh yeah, no, there was like some sort of graduation school versus school tournament thing. Then said like it was purposely like, oh, because UHA does this sports festival thing, they're always at a disadvantage because everyone knows their powers now and who to watch out for.
Oh, he's talking about the provisional licensing exam.
Yeah, the licensing exam. Yeah. But anyway, so they
basically it lets them get the license so that they can go be fake heroes.
The point of me saying this was because they had this whole like opening, gunshot in the air, everyone go scene where it showed everyone using their powers to like scale buildings or run down the roads and shit.
Yeah.
And that was done well and interesting, but Ruby in the recent episode tried to do that where they're like, oh, we can't land because there's too many Grimm to land, except there was no Grimm at all. And so you guys gotta jump out of these fucking Halo ship ripoffs. And they're like, okay, we can do this.
Oh yeah, they ripped off the Pelican super.
And instead of like actually having some cool landings where they like had to fight their way down and it was a hot landing and they got to show off all the new skills and powers that they have now, it was like the most cringe landings possible. And like John's shield is now a kite, like a literal kite.
Okay. Imagine if you combine Link's shield with the glider.
I'm weak.
Yeah, and it was just like, this is the cringiest shit possible. Also, as Isley is quoted saying, they had a scene where it was super dark in this cave, and and there's these two faunists, Blake's one of them, they're talking about how they're oppressed and treated differently from humans. And then another faunist comes up to her being Blake, and goes, hey, I know you guys are talking about the oppression of our species and all, and how we're different from humans. But can you go, squeeze into this crack over here and sneak ahead? Because our night vision allows us to see in the dark as opposed to the humans.
Oh, also, don't forget sweet Lord. Also, don't forget the scene where they had a guy drunk be kind of an asshole and a little bit racist. So then they had Weiss throw him in.
Yeah, they had a Trump supporter in the show.
No, God.
Specifically there for Weiss to do.
political bias down for like 5 seconds.
Okay, I'm
No, but
exaggerating.
You're saying they tried to do political commentary, but it's
No,
Ruby.
not even trying to do a political entry. They literally just
No,
had.
they had a drunk guy be racist, and then Weiss threw him into a literal
Not.
dumpster.
I wouldn't even. Okay, maybe it was a little bit racist. But
Well,
I
he made
wouldn't
some
even
kind
say
of comment
race.
about Blake and her.
He called her faunus, and Weiss was like, "What did you say?" Because originally the problem was is he literally just was like, "What's this faunus doing here?" And Weiss was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And it's just like, what is this faunus doing here? Is an actual legitimate question when the faunus has a fucking sword gun, and it's like,
Anyway, the point is, they were like, "Lol, racists are trash," except they completely ignored the whole like thing in the last season where it was like about trying to help people get over their bias and the thing that made it the most insulting was they had Weiss do it, which made no sense because Weiss has literally no room to talk.
Well, no,
like,
see,
you guys
specifically
don't
in Mantle.
understand.
no, I knew why they made
Weiss
Weiss do it.
No, I know
it's
why
Yeah.
they made Weiss do it. It's just like, shouldn't she, of all people, be like, "Hey, listen, I get that you were raised here.
Yeah.
You were raised exactly like I was in super racist land. Only your dad was my dad was Jacques Snee, the man who's literally enslaving."
Honestly, they're just sending really fucking mixed messages when it comes to Faunus and Ruby. They're like, oh, they enslaved us. And then it like cuts the Jackie's going, oh no, we pay them fair wages.
I mean, he could also just be, it could be like how
Okay, but
Americans get paid fair wages.
I mean, we kind of are. I mean, I'm not for nothing, dude, but my job is pretty bottom of the fucking barrel in terms of intelligence and skill, and I'm making enough money to live. You know.
I mean, that's fair.
Like, I'll be honest, dude. It ain't just an American thing, man. Like, pay is pretty much the same all around the world at this point.
Yeah, well, so it's like, yeah, we're not all fucking rolling in dough, but if the rich guy's like,
I'm
no,
sorry,
no,
you're
no,
right. I should have been more specific. Back before Americans were allowed things like unions.
I mean, we don't have a union for my job.
Yes, but unionization helped lots of people get fair wages, and we have actual fair wage laws, as opposed when you would do
Yeah,
things
it's
like
true.
send the child to clean out the cotton picking machine because his hands were tiny, and if he lost a hand, oh well, back on the street with you.
Yeah,
Little
but
Timmy.
that's less fair wage laws and child labor and more just people being just really shit people.
Yeah, there's that.
You're
But
right.
There is a difference there. There is a difference between, hey, you actually gotta pay your employees a decent wage versus, hey, don't send children into the currently operating machinery. There is a bit of an escalation between the two.
Dude, fucking what the shit? Hold up. Apparently, Arn actually went and wrote a fanfic.
Yeah, oh, he does that all the time now.
Is that actually like his thing? Oh yeah, fuck, that is him.
Yeah. But no, the problem with the disparity with Faunus in Ruby is that they are the aggressors of a war so great they called it the Great War. I'm sure there won't be a second one.
All the other names were taken.
I'm sure there won't be a second one, guys, and we'll have to call
Honestly,
it like
at least
World
when they
War
were
II.
like, "This is the color war," I was like, you really may want to rethink that in the current American political climate, but I'll give you credit for at least having an okay war name.
Yeah. At least they didn't call it the War of Colors.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, they could have been worse. But no, when it comes to faunus, so they were the aggressors, and they sort of won, and they demanded a shit ton of stuff from the kingdoms, except they didn't have the numbers to actually enforce any of their demands. They just happened to win because reasons, and they forgot that faunus have night vision.
I was gonna say, yeah. As far as we can tell, they won because people forgot faunus have night vision.
Wow.
Which
I see, night vision's a nice little advantage and shit, but not enough to win a war. You know?
it honestly, it would be like if fucking Cuba just decides to declare war on the world and then somehow wins, and it's just like, wait, what?
And then it's like, okay, Cuba technically won, but we don't have to listen to anything they say.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what happened with the faunus, where they were just like, hey, there's this like large island that no one has claimed to. You guys can have it, I guess, or whatever. And so they sent all the faunus there because, typically when you have an occupying army in your territory, and then you lose or win the war, you want the one of the stipulations for the war is, the occupying army leaves and stops occupying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, we didn't let Germany have that. We kind of destroyed everything that Germany had, and then we occupied them, and we're still actually occupying them to this day. But to be fair, Germany has shown a long, several hundred years of history. Sorry, not even 100. Several thousands of years of history of starting wars. So, that's fair. But, like, so we send all the faunus to this place, supposedly, or whatever, and all the faunus go there because everyone hates them, and they're like, oh, how dare people hate us? It's like, you literally had a fucking war where you demanded shit from their country. Of course they hate you. It's a little bit harder, cause it's sort of like how if France started a war with Germany and then Germany occupies France and all the French are like, fucking Germans.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so it's what happened in the Saga of Tanya the Evil.
Yes. It only happened once, you're American, and it was the French's fault. It's always the French's fault.
Anyways, it's like almost 8 a.m. I'm gonna go sleep.
Alright, you do that.
You do that.
We'll
You go over the things, Suki, when you
I'll
can,
keep
let me
ranting.
know. Yeah. See ya.
And then when branching off from the all the faunus are like, oh, how dare you be racist to us? We demand rights. Which, again, I'm still really confused by. So, when it comes to,
I never really understood.
I was gonna say, when it comes to humans and how you can take America for example, America was founded by white Europeans. It was founded by Europeans, and so they had a whole bunch of laws based around being European, and they fought other Europeans, and they brutalized non-Europeans. And eventually, at a point in time, non-Europeans started being brought over as a labor force to the country. And because Europeans did European things with European thoughts, thinking about Europeans, they didn't think about the non-Europeans because they didn't grow up around the non-Europeans. They didn't interact with the non-Europeans except from a very certain perspective that was recently introduced.
When they did finally interact with them, most of them were, as far as they were concerned,
non-European.
Barbaric.
Yeah, non-European, and so therefore it was very easy to view them as non-European. And it took some time, and it took a lot of people involved in this, and multiple generations of growing up around the non-Europeans to finally say, hey, maybe the non-Europeans could be like Europeans, and we should give them the same rights that Europeans have. And so we did that. My point with all this is that this took Around 100 years. So, around 4 generations, 5 generations. Faunists have been in every country across the world since time started. Since the hominid species of the world started recording time, since the first city was founded, there was faunus. Now, you could say such things such as, oh, well, they have animal traits and that's easier to dehumanize them. And that's a fair statement. They still aren't recently introduced. They still have existed since the dawn of recorded history. So, my disbelief when it comes to faunus, and supposedly the Faunus War was the only war the faunus ever did. It wasn't like the faunus constantly kept rising up and rising up and rising up because of their treatment, and that just soured the relationships. No, we don't have any of that lore. The Faunus War is the only time the faunus rose up against their hundreds of thousands of years of oppression. Sorry if I'm a bit skeptical of this plot. I'm aware, Isley, about the analogies they were trying to introduce with how they portrayed certain aspects of culture. But the problem is, this is the sort of shit when I'm talking about fan fiction. The problem is that when you include something into the story, you have to keep in mind how it affects the story. If you're going to have a species that has existed since the dawn of recorded history syncretically evolve and interact with humanity, then we're not going to be massively xenophobic towards them. Especially if they look like humanity and humanity can have kids with them that produce human-like children. Which, clearly, because interbreeding is a thing that humanity does often, and you don't have the entirety of humanity or even a portion of humanity at all, because there's still the delineation between faunus and humanity, it is clear that the faunus traits are very weirdly genetically involved here, and that there is no loss or degradation of these traits, no matter how many times you get involved with a human, because I'm sure if you looked at any family tree across the entire world in the Remnant verse, you would find faunus and human ancestors in everyone. That, like, if you wanted to make it an analogy, you would have to have the faunus have their own, isolationist city, country, town thing or whatever, that in, the recent 500 years or something, it finally collapsed, causing the faunus to flee across to the other cities of Remnant, causing racial tensions. It's like, okay, if they were previously isolationists, and humanity really didn't generally interact with them, I could see xenophobia and racism and all this sorts of mistreatment going on. I could believe that, but that's not what happened. That's not what was portrayed. We got fucking told, clearly and clinically told, that at the dawn of re-recording the history, after humanity was nearly wiped out in an apocalypse, that faunus had existed. And that Ozpin had lived through hundreds of full lifetimes since then. And yet the treatment of faunus hasn't changed at all.
Nope.
Yeah. But again, Isley, that's because of certain cultural aspects of such groups causing the tensions to occur. And the problem is that they never portrayed the faunus with those cultural aspects either. In fact, they've never portrayed the faunus as anything. The faunus have no culture as far as canon is concerned.
As far as we'll never, they just, and I want to be very careful as I say this, they are like how the Jews existed after they left Israel. Right?
Yeah.
They're just there in every country, but they don't even have a oh my god. You know what I mean, Sneaky. Like, they don't have any culture whatsoever.
Well, no. That's incorrect. Because you have your more atheistic, your more Jewish heritage people, and then you still have your Orthodox Jews. Like, I don't know how it is
I'm sorry,
in the
I
Midwest.
meant the faunus.
Oh, yeah, but you were comparing them to the Jews, and all I was saying
I'm
is
saying-
that
I'm sorry,
is
I
that
meant-
even the Jews that have left Israel, there is still Orthodox Jewry
yeah,
in
I'm sorry,
every
what
country.
I meant was you had Jews who, whether they left or were forced out of their country, but they at least kept their culture. But the faunus don't even have a culture. They just exist in every society as a kind of mistreated underclass.
Yeah, they're a mistreated underclass, even though they're faster than humans and have special traits compared to humans, and
I
are
didn't
tougher
say
than
it
humans,
was
and
stupid.
have night vision, and it's just like... And like, don't even get me started on the whole genetics thing with it, because I will take this podcast to the 4 hours mark if I have to rant on the genetics of faunus, because it's just like...
Please don't. I mean, you can do it. I'm just gonna tell you straight up that I will fucking leave.
I know. It's...
We're already past 8 o'clock.
I know. Ruby just gets me so irritated, though, because it's like... I can tell where the inspiration is, and I'm liking it, and I want to like it, but it's just so poorly executed. It's like a fan fiction where you see the cool idea, and you're like, I want this cool idea. But...
It's especially bad when you're like, I never thought of that. I like that.
yeah, like there's so many fanfics that I've encountered where I'm just like, I never knew I wanted this so much until now that I've been, presented with it. Maybe some other time, Isley. Maybe when I'm a little bit... Whoa.
Oh, what's Isley asking for?
She wants me to rant about the genetics and the whole fucking thing that doesn't make sense at all. And then I'm gonna get
Isley, for that, you're going to have to come ask him nicely in person.
then I'll just get into the whole genetics thing concerning fucking Harry Potter, and that makes me want to fucking scream as well. But you know what? It's 9:30, and I appreciate everyone sticking around to this point because I mean, like, seriously, like, holy shit, we haven't been reading fanfic for the past hour. I've just been ranting about Ruby, which I'm
The
really...
rest of us have been occasionally chiming in.
I'm really considering at the end of this year formally retiring the name Fanfiction Contempt Theater, because we're talking a whole lot more than just fanfiction, and it really doesn't do the whole podcast justice anymore, because, we used to just talk fanfic, the fanfic specifically that we're talking about, but now we're a whole lot more learned, and we got a whole lot more examples behind us of what not to do. And so it's just like, it's not fitting no more, I don't mind hanging out with you, Sneaky. Well, thanks, Laura. I appreciate that. Oh, shit, you know what?
Do I not get an honorable fucking mention?
I promised Aura I would talk about this for the podcast, and I haven't done so at all. And it's something you might be able to talk about a bit. He wanted to, what was it? He wanted to, do you have any tips for starting with an original character before any of the established characters appear or are covered in a fanfiction?
I mean, how much are you looking to alter the actual story? Like, the first thing you have to understand, if you're putting in an OC and you're going to be altering the events well before any of the main characters show up, you have to consider much more carefully than any other thing the full ramifications of that.
There was quite a lot of blood in that spit.
God damn it, Sneaky.
I have come to realize that my dizziness might not be from my alcohol consumption, and instead from the blood loss I'm currently experiencing.
Go see a goddamn doctor.
Look up catching your breath before starting the main characters. Oh, yeah, that's been on my list of reading of to read stories for like the past 5 years. From the nose and the mouth, from my sinuses, so from my nose. But I did spit it out, so from my mouth as well. But as far as OCs being introduced before the original before the main cast of a fanfic, the thing when it comes to original characters is that it kind of always boils down to the fact that you're a fan writing a fan fic. Which means that you have to keep in mind your audience, which is fans of that fandom.
Like, here's the thing, right? If you are going so far as to write characters, to write your own story well before canon actually exists, go write your own fucking story. Sincerely.
No, I mean, no, I understand, because again, this comes down to the whole, I really like, again, I'll use Naruto for example. I really like Naruto, but I want to write a story in which there is a genin named me, and what can I do and what can I do before Naruto shows up in Naruto? And it's an understandable thing, because again, it's fan fiction, and I equivalate fan fiction to telling a campfire tale, basically. You have to know your audience, you have to know what they are interested in, and you also have to make sure when you are including original elements to a well-told story, in this example, Naruto, that you don't do anything that would detract from the original story that is popular. Say, for example, your OC. They shouldn't have a tailed beast in them. They shouldn't have some sort of eye power that's either never been seen before, or is the Byakugan, or they're a new Chiha member that was over at a friend's house, and so they escaped the whole massacre or something. Because while sensible, while the idea that a Uchiha child escaped the massacre by just not being in the compound that day, would make sense. Problem is that none of them lived. Of the entire clan, not a single person was outside that compound on that day. Apparently.
They made that abundantly clear.
And while you could pull it off, it detracts from main character, which is Sasuke, which, again, you have to know your audience. If you are trying to have some sort of OC adopts Sasuke post-massacre fic and tries to raise him to not be canon Sasuke, it's basically a land minefield.
Shitty writing and terrible ideas.
Well, a lot of pitfalls, you know? You have to avoid a lot of things, because if you're doing a Sasuke-centric fic, you're writing for Sasuke people. People who are interested in reading Sasuke. And people who are reading
Also,
Sasuke...
get it right, it's sauce gay.
Yes. People who are interested in reading Sasuke want certain beats, I suppose you could say, out of their story. And you turning Sasuke into basically an original character in of himself probably won't fly too well. Of course, maybe if he gets a harem or some shit, but that's just shitty writing. But say you just want to write an OC. Say he's just a Genin.
Well, look, I mean, here's the thing, right? If you can slap a random Genin in. Here's the other thing. Due to the way the Naruto universe, you could have an epic, amazing adventure with a reasonably powered Genin who just set it during the Second Great Ninja War or something.
Well, not even that. All you have to do is, and I'm using Naruto just for the ease of example here, but all you have to do when you're writing an OC and you intend on including the main cast, is you do have to somewhat moderate how your OC shines. Because the main cast is the main cast. They do tend to either have certain backgrounds or certain aspects to them that make them stand out because they were originally the main cast. And so if you try and make your OC slot in, you're going to get a lot of hate, and it's usually going to be a bad story. Because, you have to find something the main cast doesn't have. Otherwise, you're going to be treading over what the main cast already has, and you're basically going to be replacing that character, which, again, is fine if you have that character, they died when they were 3 or some shit. It's like, yeah, it's dumb. I've seen stories pull it off before, though. But it's all about knowing what you want to do with your story in the future. Your Genin can't go off and, tell this amazing story about how they saved a princess in a country from an evil bad guy when she was originally pretending to be a mere circus troupe member. And they were secretly going, and all the other circus troupe members were actually part of the princess's guards. And they were secretly going back to the country to try and do a coup to overthrow the evil tyrant that originally threw her out.
How the fuck did you find the plot of the next Fire Emblem game?
Funny.
Thank you.
And I sort of got that joke too because of how much you talk about Fire Emblem.
I would just say, here's the thing, right? It's just one of those things. I was like, this sounds absurdly like something I would hear in a Fire Emblem game, right?
And it's just like, the problem with that is that anyone, again, this is in the context of Naruto, anyone who has become a fan of Naruto would likely know the blatant ripping off you're doing of several filler arcs of Naruto. And then you have your Genin outshining Naruto, and it's like, okay, well, what's Naruto supposed to do? What's going to make Naruto still Naruto when you have this Genin going off and rescuing countries and beating up the big bad guys who, I mean, because then this is the same problem I had with my Ruby Naruto story is there is a limited number of bad guys that exist in canon. And you obviously can make up more, but you have a cap on how high those power scalings are capable of going. You can't make up there was a secret third immortal, so Naruto can defeat them while the main cast still defeats Salem. Or your OC can defeat them while the main cast still defeats Salem.
I would say that was one of the reasons why when Max and I, for all its flaws and problems, when Max and I wrote a shitpost, one of the things we did was like, okay, we're not going to have any powers. We're not going to be hunters.
The tricky part is when you mix the main cast into your story. For example, if you're doing the adventures of OC the Genin and his rise to power, and you just have the shit that Naruto's pulling off, just like, happening in the background, just like, oh, the Genin's walking down the street one day, and the two civilians are whispering like, oh, did you hear about the demon's mission that just happened recently? I heard it was a princess he rescued. Oh, don't be stupid. The demon couldn't have pulled that off. I heard, Kakashi did it all. Just like including like, the timestamps of these events are occurring. But when you want to include the main cast, your character cannot be more special than the main cast anymore. When it's just your character doing your character things in the world that's been built, you can have them do all the special shit you want, again, to a certain extent. Obviously, some Genin pulling the Rinin Sharingan Byakumakugan out of his ass to shoot ice lasers with his nose because of his hyper bloodline mix of 7 different ancestries. Well, that's just not going to work either. Again, in the premise of we're doing a Genin, or we're starting as a Genin in a Naruto story, you would have to first flesh out the Genin's team. You would have to add a foil in, either in the form of a teacher, a friend, or a rival, maybe on their team, or maybe on a different team. There's plenty of teams that were already in use that were never introduced in the Naruto storyline. So you can just be like Team, 17 or some shit. Team 4. The Adventures of Team 4, they can go off, they can go beat shipping magnates as well. Maybe not shipping magnates, maybe a caravan boss. A corrupt caravan boss who's ambushing his own caravans with bandits that he pays to jack up the prices that he demands from merchants or some shit. Maybe they foil a plot to sabotage a new railroad that people are trying to construct. It doesn't have to be world-ending shit, but you have to keep in mind that the main cast exists. And if you're doing it at a time the main cast doesn't exist, you still have to keep in mind the continuity of canon. Unless you're going to have this big focus on how everything's different now that your OC Genin didn't die on this mission. You gotta big think, you gotta really plan this shit out, and how does this affect X characters? For example, Worm's a great example of where stories go to die. Not a lot of them make it to the Leviathan arc, and those that do typically die at the Leviathan arc. And the reason why they die at the Leviathan arc is because of the far-reaching consequences that the author finally cottons on to. How do they handle Scion? How do they handle the Endbringers? The power set they have might be cool and neat and all, but if they make their character out to be a bigger threat than they can actually handle being, Endbringer's gonna yeet them. Scion's gonna yeet them. And the win condition, quote unquote, for Worm, an example, is that Scion gets defeated, and that only happens when he kills himself. Spoiler alert, I guess. But Taylor never actually beats Scion. He just kills himself out of depression. That was actually sort of the point, too, is that, she throws all these capes, and she throws trillions of lives away, and multiple Earths are completely annihilated. And in the end, the big bad kills himself, and that's how she wins. Oh, hi, Jorp.
Yo,
Go to the gym.
Short.
But yeah. And with Worm, for example, I'm going to use my story in this example because, it's an OC that's getting introduced before the main character ever gets even talked about. The premise, the internal premise I have, of course, this isn't the premise I tell everyone else, but the internal premise I have for my character and how he exists in the world already and how he's interacted with the world he is in a position that Taylor would never notice normally. He's in a basement selling normal shit. He's not some sort of drug lord or anything. He's selling Gatorades and Dorito snack packs and shit. And Taylor is an isolationist who goes onto the roof and hides in bathrooms and shit. And I'm also in a different grade than her. So it's entirely possible in the continuity of Canon Worm that my character had existed the whole time and just never amounted to anything and or was killed, in any of the various events that have happened. And the internal premise of my story is, what if I, didn't die at some unspecified point in time and actually did things. Because again, from the perspective of Taylor, it's entirely possible that my character existed in canon. Because I'm not having my character do anything outrageous. Until the story starts, of course. That's when the outrageous thing starts happening and the snowballs start occurring. But before the story starts, he never does anything outrageous. He's a background character at best. And it's entirely possible that he had always existed in the canon story, and this is just a fan story about this one character in the background. Stole, I call it borrowing with interest. Yeah, I mean, you stole all my viewers. That's how you had so many viewers on that previous stream of yours, Jorp. You stole them all and held them hostage. But any other elucidations you need, Aura? Well, you heard it here first, Jorp. Birdie likes me more than you.
Ooh.
You know what,
Vibes, Birdie,
Arm?
harsh vibes.
I will absolutely go read your shitpost story now off stream so we don't get yeeted by Twitch. But as Aura is not responding, I will take that as his question is answered on the topic of OCs before the main cast is introduced. And call today's stream to a close. I'll see you all next time. Oh, okay. Fucking Jesus Christ. Fucking decides to go with the paragraph method. How would it apply to a plot that occurs after canon has already started? I was planning on going with an original plot on the world, since changing canon was far too hard for me to work with. Like in your example of your Naruto concept, what if an original plot happened post-war with the original character? And does he does stuff to that gets named character involved dragged into things because of his actions. Not much to say there, my dude. I have little love for post epilogue stories. Mostly because, again, it comes down to the fan aspect. I'm more interested in the story. Worm, for example. I'm interested in Brockton Bay stories. I'm not interested in some original character in Austin, Texas with powers. I mean, could it be good? Yeah, it could be good, but I'm a fan of Worm. I'm not a fan of my first superpower story, you know? I'm not here to read about superpowers, I'm here to read about Worm. And the premise of whatever figure I thought it was a Nanaha or something, or whatever it is, I don't know. Don't care. But if your original character is doing things after a certain amount of events in canon have occurred, and that they cause canon to diverge because the main character takes notice of these events, make the events interesting and make them scaled. You know, why does the main character get drawn into these events? That's something you need to answer. Why did the main character not get drawn to these events in canon? Why did... I mean, again, this is why the insert section of self-insert is a important denomination of original characters. It's because the insert part of it allows you to insert yourself into the world, as opposed to you have always existed, and needing to model your character after someone who has always existed in this world. So your character doesn't have meta knowledge. Your character doesn't have abruptness in terms of existence. So they have to have past actions, and they have to fit into the background of the original canon. But the insert gets to be like, bitches, I'm here now. I'm gonna do my own shit. So if your character is going to be an original character and not an insert character, then you need to explain and elucidate properly why the events happening in your story didn't happen in canon or weren't brought to canon's attention. As far as the character getting involved into it, yeah, pretty much what I just repeat of what I said earlier. Why are they getting involved now? Why didn't they get involved before? Just come up with some good reasoning for it, Just come up with some good reasonings for it. I mean, and I don't mean good hand waves for it. I mean good from the perspective of the characters, from the perspective of the narrative reasonings. They can always be separate too. You know, in the narrative you might be going, okay, well I want this to happen, so I need this character to be here for this to occur, so, you know, Z can happen. But you, the author, need to explain to the readers why X is happening leading to Y finishing with Z, instead of why B isn't happening leading to C. Anything you wanted to add, Atin?
No, you've covered pretty much all my complaints.
Alright, so now we're gonna real close it for real this time. Later, y'all. I appreciate
Are
you
we
sticking
really,
around.
really closing?
I promise you we're actually closing it this time. So we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Gamer marathons Friday, or that's the plan at least. If you got more questions, you can always ping me in the writing channel on either server, I suppose. Your best bet's probably going to be on Arn's server because he's you got the gray there and whatnot. But until next time, for I shall see you next time, because there is always more, and it always gets worse.